Schau mal, also 0-3 reinstarten in den Split. Ich meine, das sind also G2 und KC wahrscheinlich die Top 2 Teams, right, wenn wir jetzt mal realistisch rangehen an die Sache, aber trotzdem, du willst halt trotzdem mit 0-3 starten.
Now it feels like the story coming into summer is this is our top two. MKOI are once again, despite being a team who's so frequently in that top two, fighting to re-earn their place there. And beating Vitality is a start to that very road, as already we're in picks and bans. The Akali taken off the board, respecting Supa's potential flex pick.
Absolutely, and already you see the Poppy and the Shen ban. I think Vitality have eyed that Camille pick. Another question becomes for MKOI, do you actually take away the Camille, or do you play something like a Rel or a Leona into that? I also want to notify the watchers at home that LEC is up and available. LEC is up and available. We saw this on the first day by MKOI versus G2, where they traded.
Ja, ich finde LEC jetzt auch, also LEC, ich weiß nicht, entweder sind die Leute zu schlecht, ich weiß nicht, was da die Wave ist.
And it's really, are we gonna pick it right now?
That's very true. Now we have seen the Camille locked in. Of course, this is for Nako. I'm joking, it's for Fleshy. It'll go support. So we have our powerhouse roaming support already for the side of Vitality. Now, something that you and I were talking about, Finn, was where are the roams going to go? For the side of Vitality, top lane seems like it would be nice given Nako's individual performance, but when you're playing the Camille, it might be a little bit more difficult if you miss possession when there is that Vi on the enemy team, now paired up with the Cassio as well.
So the Cassio here is a really good pick on the red side. You have
Und ich vertraue, ich weiß nicht, wie ich es euch erklären soll, ich vertraue Kollegen, ich vertraue Kollege Flashy einfach nicht mit der Camille. Glaube ich nicht dran.
Now, when I see Fiesta play, we saw the Silas, we saw the LeBlanc, he strikes me as a guy that would love to play the LEC. But we do not know yet if he's going to be the one to pick it up.
He also strikes me as a guy who, after the quantity of deaths he's had on the first few days, may get some skepticism from his team, but Pad, notoriously a guy who really does believe in his players, talked a lot about the pressure on him, so setting him up with something comfortable, something powerful like the lock may go a long way. For now, it is the Syndra locked in. Of course, anytime we see just about 90% of the mages in the meta, we can expect that they could also go into
fürs Being in Pitlane, Junge. Ich schwöre, tut mir so leid. Ist
er
damit Fünfter wieder, oder was?
MKOI is the Leona, which has been doing fantastic this weekend.
Yeah, I mean, Leona right now is winning so many games here in the LEC. And
War ein Camille-Pick, ich finde den fucking horrible. Das ist so schlecht.
The problem with Camille is that you kind of want to rush your
Camille ist unglaublich schlechter Pick.
Delays your spike a lot, and you just don't have the damage to go through a Leona because she's the tankiest support in those first levels. With that W ability, she becomes unkillable. So with all that CC, I think it makes a lot of sense to Alvaro, and I love seeing Alvaro on engage support. I feel like when Alvaro is not on engage, all of MKOI just withers down into the ground.
It feels so true. A similar story for LEC. We really have both players, the kind of jungle support duo that we always come back to when we talk about this MKOI lineup on champions with a lot of
ja, First Free von MKOI gefallen mir.
in the early levels, but it's matched by the Wu.
Haben auf jeden Fall auch Zugriff auf die Syndra, die ja immer ein Problem ist.
Alongside the Lucian, so some respect paid over to Carzzy on the Lucian. I do think he had a solid game on it, even if Vitality couldn't get over the line.
Absolutely. And now MKOI has a choice. The choice is, do you actually keep the Cassio flex? Because they have shown the Syndra. You could just put the Cassio in the mid lane, pick a different AD carry, or vice versa. Or do you keep that flex until last pick and blind pick your top laner? Now, they haven't banned a single top lane champion, so I expect that the flex is going to get broken here. We're going to see an AD carry or a mid lane pick there on 4. Or maybe Mirwin is just that guy, man. Maybe he just blinds top without any bans.
Would be a bold strategy. Again, while we talked about Vitality falling apart a bit, Nako has been a consistently strong performer. The Cassante game was pretty nasty. Now, Cassante not really what we expect when we talk about counter picks in most situations, but giving Vitality a good angle for a counter pick here would be maybe a bit questionable.
Am besser Lockban.
Yeah,
am besser Bann.
Maybe Vitality is trying to set up a potential pick here. I think it makes sense to get with the lane.
Oh, Rumble, ja.
On the Wukong ult, on the Camille ult. And
that's
the best answers into the Rumble right now in this meta. But if you really wanted to, MKOI could take it away. But I do expect them to go a different direction. It is going to be the Ezreal lock-in for Supa. Self-sufficient AD carry, but also strong laner. The Ezreal Leona in lane has a lot of early damage.
Boah, warum bin ich gerade Support? Ich glaube, weiß ich nicht. Actually, keine Ahnung.
Have that pressure,
to be honest.
So LEC is free to play whatever he wants to do.
Yeah, makes a lot of sense. Of course, while it's easy to see a world where it's just power farming to 6, if one of your lanes has prio, if you can steal away a camp, being the first jungler to get to that crucial ultimate can make all the difference. The lock in here, the blind pick is the Rumble, the angle that you predicted, Finn. So a lot of magic damage, maybe looking for a bit more physical damage. MKOI don't have a true tank, right? Like, Leona isn't going to have that gold income to be a massive problem.
Also, könnte jetzt tatsächlich Ornn picken.
But now it's the Jhin. Okay.
Spielt sie Mann.
Jhin Rumble,
Ornn.
a super classic pairing. Can't kill a tank to save its life, though, so wonder if that is going to be the response on the opposite side for MKOI.
Yeah, I mean, I think...
Guck mal, das ist schon wieder so ein Vitality Draft. Im Leben glaube ich nicht dran, dass sie dieses Game gewinnen können.
Just really nullifies the Rumble in lane.
Ehrlich, ich glaube nicht dran, dass Vitality dieses Game gewinnen kann. Ich weiß nicht. Die sind in meinem Kopf einfach zu schlecht dafür. Mal sehen. Hoffentlich irre ich mich.
Their moments wisely.
And I will say, we've seen some incredible Galio angles over the weekend. It's really good that you highlight the Syndra and the Jhin specifically. This is not as much of a Goomba stop counter pick Galio as we saw in some of our other series. This is good, certainly, but as you highlighted, only 2 of the members on the opposing team are really going to be diving in, so it's not the perfect checkmate option. It does still have a nice lane into the Rumble, obviously, so it does make sense that it's being picked. The thing I have my eyes on early game, Finn, is what you talked about earlier, the supports. Where are they going to roam? Are they going to be able to match? Will we see the 1v1 be as bloody as the 1v1 between
Formel 1 einen Norris, Verstappen, Antonelli, Leclerc, Hamilton.
Camille really wants to get out of that lane as soon as she can. And then it's kind of on the Leona to just run after her, try to find her and predict where she will move. Because as long as the Leona is there, they are winning the fights. But the problem is that Camille's range of engage is just so much further than Leona's. She always has those extra 5 seconds, and that could be the difference maker.
Yeah, you've heard the analyst desk, all of us, all of Reddit, Twitter, pretty much everyone in the universe complain about Camille's support or talk about how strong she is, and it's for good reason, right? Hookshot wall dive, the flash extension. Nobody outmatches this champion in terms of single target engage range. It's just something that it's hard to get away from. And Jojo Pune on the Casio, relatively vulnerable. Mirwin pretty tanky early on, so I don't know if we'll see attention paid there. We do, however, have a pause. Keep you up to date on what's going on. You know,
there's a lot going on here.
We've had some audio adjustments over the course of the weekend. There's been some lighting adjustments. I assume it's something small, but who knows?
I just want to talk a little bit about things that I noticed here going into this game. Nako has opted out of the teleport, which is very common on the Rumble. And usually when you go Rumble and you don't go TP, the choice of Summoner Spell is Ignite, just for that extra little bit of lane pressure, a little bit of kill potential, possibly. But Nako has opted in for the Ghost, which can be very nice, especially when you end up against possibly a Casio. When you have a team
ist der Draft-Sound, ist die Draft-Musik.
Being able to weave in and out of those fights, get all those flame splitter procs that you really want to, can be crucial.
Ja, ich habe persönlich keinerlei Erwartungshaltung jetzt. Der Vitality Draft ist einfach schwer, denke ich.
Surrounded by KC fans, these two teams go toe-to-toe. Find out who can get their first victory in LEC Summer, as both these teams currently 0-2. Nako with the Ghost. Maybe can start running down Mirwin. Did opt for the double glowing.
So, ihr seht jetzt, was das Problem ist, was er hier machen kann. Er muss jetzt nicht Botlane gehen, by the way. Die können jetzt hier einfach chillen. Ihr Mann da angeblich zu Realfix innerhalb von einem Tag.
Lynsas want to invade the Yoya, so maybe we will see Lynsas pushing his advantage into the enemy jungle because, as we know, Vi in those first levels before she has that cease and desist, she is quite weak in an extended fight. Wukong with all that extra armor from his passive just wins the extended fight all in. So I want to see what Lynsas can do with this now. The
Backcamp Space für Elioya, ist gut.
Yeah, Stoneskin really nasty against physical damage champions.
Nice moves by Jojo.
Trading up against Fiesta pretty easily. Just going to start walking him down now. Doesn't even need level 2. Happy to just hit a couple knocks.
Mit Q auf 1 HP gechunkt.
We might have seen some flashes committed. But now it's level 2 and Fiesta completely zoned off the wave.
I don't know if
Poppy's Powerband.
Happy feet, dodging through all of those little spheres. He actually has secured such a nice lane.
Also anscheinend war diese Olisea-Aktion nur PR-Aktion wie immer von den Spaniern.
Pushed out of this wave, stuck level 1, can't really trade back, already chugged 2 of his
Bisschen laut, ne?
And this really highlights why we always compliment Jojo's laning phase. He just has so much pressure when he has those winning matchups.
Yes, and we really haven't been able to look away from mid lane so often, although that root is massive.
Junge, super.
Caught up trying to E away, forced
Nur Liebe.
Ignite ticking.
Hat Dorans Boy, kann Stain, 2 Potions.
And Supa, I think not fast enough on the arcane shift.
Yeah, that was beautiful tandem there by the bot lane of Vitality. The Camille W slows Supa, so Carsey lands the Deadly Flourish. Then Fleshy lands the hookshot on the wall, goes around the Leona and finds a beautiful angle. And that will be 2 summoners down from Supa and the exhaust from Alvaro. Really well done by the Vitality bot lane.
Really solid. This is something that we talked about. Normally locking them in the 2v2 feels like it would favor the Ezreal Leona, but after a trade like that, it's certainly Carsey feeling pretty comfortable. The cleanse, really good against the enemy composition, but not that early laning phase combat sum. But now that you've taken both sums away from Supa, you certainly don't mind, at least for the next few minutes.
Nice trade by Mirwin, dodges both the harpoons, realizes, okay, you don't have 2 harpoons, I can go in for the trade. Nako's gonna try to get a little bit back, but I think Mirwin is happy with that.
That he is.
Now,
Posturing here. Level 4 for Lensis, level 4 for Elyoya. Both
keep in mind, Leona is so strong in these fights.
By the double buffs. Leona only level 2, however.
I think they're a little bit scared because they don't have
Der wird zurückgeknallt.
I think they would be really happy to fight that. But keep in mind, the Leona is stronger than the Camille if the Camille goes in. But if she has to be the one that goes in, it's a little bit more difficult to find the damage.
That it is. Knockback onto Elyoya. Wasn't clear if Elyoya wanted to go for a Q flash there. Fiesta stood his ground, didn't opt to immediately flash out, but is forced to flash as Alvaro commits his own.
Good trade there now. Fiesta stuck in lane, has no TP, no flash, and down to 25% HP. Is gonna get a little bit suffocated here. We'll see if Jordan goes for the base. I do not know if Fiesta can push this wave out in time.
Vitality's trying to take this moment of opportunity to reclaim some space, but their mid laner is recalling.
Yeah, look at the Hex Flash here from Alvaro. I think it's crucial.
Level 3 from Alvaro as well. That is going to be one tanky Leon.
Super Winning oder nicht? Oh wow, er kommt da raus. Oh, er ist tot. Wow, ist die Flash nicht dahinter? Okay.
That was a bit of an over-eager invade. You just didn't have numbers there. They opt to go for it anyway. At the very least, Mir
Orkan.
on the top side, but things are getting rough.
I mean, that was a bold read. I think they expected.
Soll das Matchup nicht anders aussehen? Ich glaube, also, Syndra hat einfach nicht die Cooldowns zum Early Game, oder?
Winds of War, double flash out.
Knock, of course, with the
Ah, ich spiel Ghost.
He can't get out of this laning phase. He needs to take a bad base here really fast because Mirwin has dive threat on every single wave. Elyoya already on the top side could easily walk over. So Nako is going to have to drop a wave most likely.
Frustrating a bit for Nako. Of course, Mirwin having extra time in the lane just to get a little bit extra MR as well. Going to make things that much nicer. And early Mercs, good. Extra movement speed, nice. But when you're running first strike, it feels much
Ja, das Ghost überrascht mich auch ein bisschen.
right? To just further increase that the gold gained.
Hat Instant Mercs auch.
Absolutely. And now bot lane is getting slowly poked out here. Supa really wants some more damage components. He's just sitting there with a moat and a tear. Not a lot of damage, so comes back here with a longsword.
it's no damage, actually. A moat and a tear is 0 damage.
Actually, tear does extra damage to minions.
Okay, that's true. That's my bad. You're right, Finn. That's my bad. I forgot my place in this arrangement.
Yeah.
You are technically right. No damage to champions, although now at least he has a longsword. Carsey, we'll see what the first item he's going to go for is. Serrated Dirk, I'm assuming Yomu's, but we could also see a collector angle. The extra movement speed is nice to have against the Cassio and the Galio.
Especially looking at the lure here. Keep in mind the Ocean Drake is the most annoying Drake to take because with the slow and the high damage output can be easily end up in a weird situation, but Elyoya will go back in. I think Lynx is coming back with a Sheen isn't the best buy because keep in mind at best you're going to get 2 Sheen procs in a long fight. Compared to double Ruby Crystal and a longsword, that's a lot more combat stats.
Yeah.
And the Sheen really is more for the clear speed to get scaling up to get that Triforce power spike because that's really when Wukong starts taking off.
Maybe accepting just being
Es war 5 FPS beim Stream auch, ja. Es war auch bei den 5 FPS. Also ich glaube nicht, dass es mir lag.
Very positive exchanges on the map. Gold still very slightly
Keine Ahnung warum.
Vitality. Might be more than slightly as Fleshy.
Ein Team.
Kick things off with the hookshot wall dive.
Tot? Oh, der ist tot. Lol.
Ignite onto Jojo Pune. Flash backwards, gets the Q for movement speed, and he's just barely living. That's got to be frustrating for Vitality. Alvaro and Elyoya need to be careful.
Ja, wow, was contesten wir da? Super ist first, I guess.
Miles behind, but ready to get involved.
Aha. Jojo ist, by the way, einen halben HP noch.
Knows the Syndra has no ultimate, but can't afford to walk any further. Carsey getting there in time means MKOI don't really have much of a play.
I think MKOI is kind of happy with that. Look, Georgian is staying for this play, and it gave him a free push out mid. Now Fiesta has to walk all the way around, catch this wave, still has another TP, so what ended up being kind of an awkward fight still gave MKOI something in that mid lane outpush.
That it did. Gold essentially dead even. We take a look at the items. Carsey.
Es kann dafür, dass wir jedes Mal, wenn wir Mitte gesehen haben, wurde Ding geknallt. Fiesta ist einfach 2 CZ.
Making all the difference between him getting that kill and that window of opportunity now closed. We'll see if Fleshy can make his appearance felt once again around the mid lane. We talked a lot about the Leona and Camille. Anytime we see these Leona, pretty much anytime you see a Camille in the game, we're going to talk about the supports a lot because it just forces a level of roaming that we're all kind of used to seeing now, but it's still a little bit crazy. And it feels like Alvaro and Fleshy have been matching each other pretty well thus far.
Yeah, and I think that's a good job by Alvaro because this matchup, the Camille versus Leona, it's like a cat and mouse game. The Camille really wants to move around the map and find isolated members of MKOI so she can then hookshot on the wall and have that setup from her laners. But meanwhile, Alvaro has to be where she is at all points because otherwise you know what Camille can do if she just finds a free gank on mid or top.
Certainly can. Top, yes, also an option, although Knock-Knocko, they've
Kartoffeln.
been really content to leave him on an
Das ist ein
island.
Kartoffelsonntag.
Lane top.
That it has. I mean, Mirwin had some pretty good trades. Knock-Knocko still printing a bit of money, and the CS is even. We'll see. I just don't think either side is going to go top.
Yeah, look now, Knock-Knocko overhit on the wave though. Won't be able to overhit if there's a trade, so Mirwin tries to punish a little bit. It's just going to be a short trade, they're not going to die.
Out of the Duran, trying to hit the aftershock damage and then start to walk away. But Jojupun's on the way up. Knock-Knocko thinks maybe he wants to extend.
Money? What?
Now going to TP both to cover that wave. They're opening to completely secure top. Because they know Knock-Knocko can't base in TP. This is why teleport is so strong, because you can just decide what lane assignments you want. They are really happy having this tanky Galio into the Syndra, just clearing waves on the weak side. Meanwhile, Knock-Knocko's going to have to use the Equalizer to clear out this wave, but he's probably going to have to look for a recall here, because next wave is super dangerous if he stays.
But he is. 3 grubs picked up. Of course, no Drake because MKOI did take it earlier. It's still spawning in 2 minutes. Vitality going to do what they can in the bottom lane, taking away the blue buff. It's nice to have, but it does feel like MKOI, with the power of that TP, as you called out, are just a step ahead when it comes to moving around the map. And Carzzy forced to flash.
Bitte was?
He might have just always been forced to
Bitte
do
was?
that. So it does look a little bit awkward, but with Mirwin walking up from bot lane, he didn't have a quick, easy way. He didn't have a clone to get him out over the wall.
It's very scary when a Leona walks at you. And I think MKOI is quite happy with his game state. They've secured the first Drake, all 3 grubs, and they have denied every single play that Camille wants to do early game. So off to a good start. We want to see if they can keep this up, because the name of the game for MKOI has and will always be patience. It's something that they lack, and sometimes something we always criticize them for, that in fact they are a little bit impatient. But so far in this early game, they're showing good stuff.
There they are. 9 minutes 30. No kills yet. If you took the nameplates off, I would not assume that this was a Vitality MKOI game.
Absolutely not.
I'm going to be completely honest with you. But as you highlighted it, look, it benefits.
Wollte wahrscheinlich nicht beiulzt werden einfach, to be honest.
Always the side that doesn't have the Camille. Fleshy not able to find
Naja.
a lot of those early angles.
Bedeutet aber auch, dass der Drake-Fight jetzt sehr schwierig wird für Carzzy.
Felt like it was starting really promisingly, but they weren't able to convert that into a greater advantage. You can see only one tower play, it looks like, taken off of that bot lane tower. And the gold, while it's slightly in Carzzy's favor, hasn't led to much. And that's a man who just lost his flash.
Yeah. I mean, Carzzy is known for stepping up a little bit without sums, but I think he will learn his lesson this game. He is playing Jhin, has a lot of range, can easily clear waves from very far away, so I expect him to be respectful, but you
Okay,
never
ich brauche nach dem Ding einen Eiskoffee. Ich brauche irgendwie Koffein.
I think we can rely on AD carries to die on mid-wave.
Nach diesem Spiel hier.
Not dying on waves, sometimes harder. But we'll have to see as Jojupun connects the initial noxious blast, giving him the movement speed, forcing the cooldowns out of Fiesta. And this matchup is not getting easier for Fiesta. It has the Swifties to try to dodge those cooldowns, but if one connects, it's so easy for Jojupun to chase him down. As MKOI setting up on a second Drake, and well, there's a Wukong walking topside, so it seems like they're just going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, Syndra has no TP and Jojupun has it, and this is the problem when you
Einfach in der doppelten.
you could theoretically
Einfachen.
rumble top here.
Ergibt sich Abendessen, sonst zu viel Kalorien.
He can then TP down, but because you have the ghost, you really need to make fights happen as a 5-man unit. You can't really play as split. You see, MKOI is playing a very wide game state, while Vitality really needs to try to constrict it a little bit. As now
Der tot? Ah, wow, schöne Ding. Und die Fiesta ist tot. Er ist tot. Er ist tot.
Okay.
Wow.
Oh, that last tower shot, that last stick of poison.
Das ist so fucking lost.
Not a very climactic first blood, but a first blood MKOI are happy to receive.
I mean, that was disgusting. Jojupun's damage there, and it really highlights why Deathfire's touch is so good and why Cassio has risen in popularity. The fact that she can just constantly reapply that burning dots Just adds up so much damage. She had no damage item. She's
Ja, wir machen was.
around with Mercs, a Ruby Crystal.
Hab genug von Fiesta gesehen. Ja, es ist wirklich ein bisschen enttäuschend. Ne?
She has no damage items and she still was able to find that kill.
But remember, this is the champion who's only been nerfed like by the tiniest margins and was one of the most dominant blind picks in all of, you know, spring. Like, she was so oppressive alongside the Anivia. And so here for Fiesta to go for the Syndra, I like that it gives him the flex pick angle. But yeah, Syndra needs a little bit more under her belt to get the damage down. Cassio certainly does not have that problem as long as she's got mana, and she's got a hell of a lot of mana.
Yeah, and I really need to see Vitality start doing things, because I feel like the story for them these last few days is they looked really disjointed. They weren't really making any proactive plays on the map. And this game so far is kind of the same story. They have all these tools. You have the Syndra stun, you have the Jhin Camille, the Wukong. You have so many ways to start fights. But every single fight you start, MKOI is just walking away from it. And you need to really be more on the same page. Click your button.
Ist Nako oder Marvin besser? Was? Welcher Marvin?
It does feel like a kind of competition where if you just all push your buttons on one person, they'll die.
Absolutely.
Now, I can't promise that you'll win the fight after that. It could be tricky, but Fleshy might not even make it to the fight. Lockdown, layered CC, the miasma.
Ja, das Game ist komplett los, Guys.
Behind, but he just doesn't do a damn thing.
Im Draft schon wieder so richtig obvious, right? So richtig obvious im Draft, dass sie dieses Spiel nicht gewinnen können. Es geht nicht, es geht nicht, sie können nicht gewinnen. So. Most obvious Draft lose of all time mal wieder. Die sind zu, nicht mal weil, also, ist der Draft schlecht? Weiß ich nicht. Vielleicht überstresse ich das ein bisschen, aber die sind einfach viel zu schlecht, um damit zu gewinnen. So, sie sind viel zu schlecht, um jemals dieses Game zu gewinnen. Ja.
I mean, they pushed their buttons. Are you happy?
No.
No.
No, I would say I'm not. Not from a Vitality perspective, I'm certainly not happy.
Yeah, I mean, Vitality.
Ist Fiesta Arsch. Fiesta spielt halt sehr aggressiv. Und Vitality ist sehr schlecht darin, aggressiv zu spielen.
Dragon uncontested or without the cross map, because the game is falling apart and you need to grab it right now or you're gonna lose.
And again, it feels like they've had the tools, even in the early game, but haven't been able to find the angles to make it work. Nako assigned to the bottom side of the map, maybe recognizing that they're not in a great position to contest this Herald. Despite that, Linces is still walking up here. It is a reset from Mirwin. So only 4 members are going to be in the area to contest this Herald. However, Mirwin has a TP. Nako at least has his role quest completed, so will be allowed to join the fight. And this could still be an angle for Vitality.
I mean, the game is quite.
So kommt Fiesta her, well, der ist Koreaner, hat aber auch schon in den gespielt.
Clone, split, Linces immediately going to go for the world, but he's already been locked up. They found the real target. Jojopine's just on the chase. Q flash forward, coming in from Yoya.
They're just
Fleshy running away.
Ja, du musst nicht, das legit musst du nicht anschauen, das Game.
MKOI players just walk away and they get everything they want.
1v1 in the bottom lane was going in the favor of Nako. He has already used the equalizer. Will force the flash out of Mirwin. So
das ist mies bad.
Here, but instantly deletes that wave with the power of the Hollow Radiance and the Winds of War. So not a lot else for Nako to grab, as there's a 1v1 happening on the top side.
Die sind wirklich mies Arsch.
Taken the Herald. So things once again coming up MKOI. They finally grouped. It finally looked like they might find the angle, but MKOI recognizing their power, just start the fight first.
Yeah, and I think this also really highlights why the Leona is so strong into the Camille. You are just so tanky and you can just go in and lock her down completely every single time.
Walking at Fleshy. This is a world, we've seen a lot of Camille's. You know, you get 1 or 2 kills early, you're accelerated, you get that Sundered Sky, you're unkillable. Fleshy is not that Camille. Does at least have the Bloodsong, has completed his support quest.
Look at Mirwin is opening up here behind as well, but so is Nako. This might be a 5v5.
This is a lot committed
for a Gromp.
For a Gromp. But Vitality are down to clown. They're down to fight, man.
I mean, Dragon is up bot side, but we are 5-manning the Gromp. I respect it.
They really don't like that Gromp. Or Linces, apparently, as Linces is in trouble now. Carzy winning over the wall. Oh, I don't think Alvaro wanted that one. Now he's a little bit too far. In enemy territory, the root is there. Like MKOI, will they leave a man behind? They probably should. Oh, nasty sidestep from Alvaro. Ulti shield now coming in, giving a little bit more. Linces still, there's no follow-up damage, so he will.
Ja, I don't know. Das ist so ein lebloses Team. Vitality. Diese Woche war wirklich, also.
This is getting bad really fast. This is great for Vitality. Super is now going to fall.
Okay, er lebt noch.
Equalizer, not enough. Fleshy debating if he can go in again. Hookshot, EQ, super. Ooh. Remember, he's firing mostly blind there. I don't think that will give him perfect vision. The Drake still looks like it's going to go in favor of MKOI, but that entire mess of plays did favor MKOI, but Vitality happy to at least get some kills on the board.
They pushed their buttons and they got some kills, but you see again, they're just enamored by this topside jungle. They really want to fight there.
Jetzt bei G2 wieder ein Lockpick. Ich glaube nicht. Ich weiß nicht, ob der Champion so, also Blind Pick, Helle nein.
He is way too far away. He is now super deep in enemy territory, and
my man got super bounced. He's on the ground. He has a concussion. You have to call the ambulance. It's not good. Surprisingly, though, he plays really good with the concussion. I mean, he's still.
Ach, das ist T1 Galio. Ich habe ihn legit nicht erkannt.
I think the problem here for Vitality was that the Rumble was quite far away. He couldn't really come here and lay down the equalizer when the fight started. You see it's coming now, but most of MKOI is already out of this tight corridor, and once again, they just walk away from the threats of Vitality.
And it's nice to see Vitality get kills, but it's also frustrating because you finally see them find a good fight. A reminder that their champions work the way we expect them to. They do good damage. If you can lock people up in that equalizer, it's a very powerful composition.
Wieder ohne Chroma, das ist eine gute Frage, die ich dir nicht beantworten kann. Weiß ich nicht.
Can they find that opportunity on their own? Or are they going to need to find another Leona on a walkabout before we'll see a fight like that?
Ohne, oder? Ist mit Chroma? Oh, okay.
Is that they really pick their fights well. And MKOI that we had, some of the complaints we had about MKOI was
I didn't know.
Took any fight given to them. And I think so far this game they've been very smart about their fight selection, and so far it's really bringing a lot of confidence in what they can do, because we were kind of hesitant towards calling MKOI a good team after the first two series, but then again, that was against Vitality, no, against G2 and K-Corp.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we still expect MKOI to be the third best team in our region so far, and I think so far they're showing it.
And it is a marathon, right? A split. Yeah. It's not a sprint. We're not in the midst of a group stage right now. This isn't a Swiss or an elimination match. So how you...
Was nicht Control Match ist? I mean, Control Match ist einfach OP, deswegen.
More important than how you're playing right now. But it's solid, both for the fans, for your reputation, and for your own confidence to put up a good performance on this stage. And this for MKOI feels good. The other good game was their first game on stage, was that Akali bot lane. That felt like when they were all firing together. And this kind of reminiscent of that, and that it feels like the team has the same idea and are working well to execute it.
I really want Vitality to implement the Rumble a little bit more in these fights.
Lock up there. Ulti coming in from Mirwin. Linsis and Karzi already on the retreat. Well, it's retreat. I said retweet.
Maybe something's happening there. We said we wanted Vitality to implement the Rumble more. Now Judgment called out.
Flashed away. Fleshy on the chase. Can try to lock him in the Thunderdome. Fiesta coming in from behind. Jojikun's still living for quite a long time here, hoping to take down.
So random wieder.
Pick for Vitality. A lot of ultis used.
Gold, die sind nur 2K, aber es fühlt sich halt, diese 2K für MKOI, für Vitality spielen sie dann wie 7K wahrscheinlich.
Just got it, but Mirwin will take a plate in the bot lane. Let's see if Vitality can get something more on the top side. Those ults will be back up and available for next Dragon, and that's really what's going to be the next vantage point. The next place the fight will happen. And they really need to try to lock down now. Judgment won't have a flash for this next Dragon fight. That might be the opportunity that Vitality needed.
Picking off the strongest member of the team. 2 items, third on the way. Cassio really strong. Supa similarly decent, but did just only now finish his role quest. Is that true? I saw the boots disappear from his inventory. I'm not 100% confident.
Maybe he just bought.
Maybe he just bought.
Fresh pair of leather shoes. I'm not quite sure.
It's a possibility. Regardless, 2 items just about across the board for both of these teams. Obviously, top lane are still lagging behind a bit. It looks like we're going to have Imperial Mandate on Mirwin.
Oh, I do like that. I love Imperial Mandate. It's such a cool item. I'm trying to find every champion that can abuse it. My main prospects are Maokai and Alistar. I think it's really fun. But basically, for everyone that doesn't know, Imperial Mandate got changed a few patches ago. Now it gives you ability haste on your CC inflicting abilities. So obviously works very well on Galio.
Specifically hard CC, immobilizing effects.
Yeah, immobilizing effect. So for Galio that's very nice because this W, E, and R all benefit of that. And if you CC someone, they are marked and will take 7% more damage. So very useful if you're like a bruisery AP tank.
Yes. And gets rid of Nami building it, which is fantastic because kind of hated that.
I did see a lot of Nami's bite in my solo queue games though.
On accident?
Yeah, because they didn't really.
Wie Seite auf Botlane bekommt.
Completely useless.
Hey, if you land the bubble in the ulti, man, there's some value there at the very least. All right, top lane tier 1 going down, but Mirwin's already moving in. Maybe hoping to find an exit kill.
Yeah, looking for Linsis here. Has to flash.
A minute until Soul. So if they find a kill on Linsis here, that's it for the Dragon Soul. Linsis now running for dear life. Warrior Trickster out, but now the chase comes
Ja,
in.
na Stern.
It's all too easy for MKOI. The absolute worst possible scenario for Vitality is they lose their jungler.
Monkey see, monkey do, monkey die. As now MKOI might turn to the Baron instead. Maybe don't even care about the soul, but now Judge is against on the mid lane. Just gonna be a stun, maybe.
Initial start to the pick. Follow-up is there from Fleshy.
What the fuck?
Magic David Shield keeping JoJo standing.
What the fuck, man?
Is dead as well. Vitality looking loose, looking scared, looking messy as MKOI take their sweet time. They pick off Fleshy. They're debating if they want to go for
Was zur Hölle machen die da?
Might feel a little bit better. 7 seconds left on
Adult
Linces.
decision to go for the soul here. Once again, Vitality pushed their buttons, but at what cost? They didn't find anything. I think Fleshy found a good denial of the Petrine gaze from JoJo, but they didn't have the damage or the people to kill him in time. I don't think the equalizer came down on him.
Das ist krank, hier der CEO von Vitality meinte, ja, wir machen so Changes jetzt, also war richtig sauer nach dem letzten Split. Dann machen sie den Change und die sind aber noch schlechter, das ist so krank. Das ist so lustig. Was? Boah, das Game ist low.
It's a decent amount of chip damage, and it might push MKOI back enough to stop the play, but now it's a flash out from Fiesta. Deadly Flourish doesn't connect.
Das Game ist mies low. Bei Flash an. Ey, Junge, ich hasse Camille so sehr. Es ist so ein scheiß Champ. Es ist so ein mieser scheiß Champ.
Yeah, I don't think Linces can get into that pit and steal it. It would require a miracle for him to deny this dragon, but it might be looking.
Linces, we're not gonna get it. Cloud Drake, Cloud Soul for MKOI.
Definitely terrifying for a team that has been running away for you all game. Now they're going to run at you very, very, very fast as we look back at his replay. It starts with Nako finding a lot of harpoons onto Mirwin, getting a lot of chunk damage. But the thing is, sure, he's going to kill him here, but he goes so deep to kill him, and suddenly that's all you
Hey, kein Stunner gegen Danosch.
Rumble with the equalizer is up. He just puts it down before he dies, but it just walked out of. And in the end, it's just going to be a 3-4 as Fiesta is dead.
And it does
Start Nash, komm.
Vitality
Bring wir es hinter uns, bitte.
lost control of the game a while ago, but this is really the moment where I felt like they lost control. Nako full focusing on that single kill instead of backing up.
Yeah, I mean, what you can do there is you take the big chunk on the Galio and use the fact that you are a 2-item Rumble, almost full HP. They don't have a top laner and then walk into that river. Maybe some magic can happen, but right now, you're just going to give this Baron. They're trying to get some kind of cross-map on bot, but I think Loon is going to TP down there and just clear out that wave with that Holo Radiance.
And you can hear the once raucous arena is dead quiet.
They're not enjoying this that much.
Ain't nobody in this house excited about MKOI kicking the hell out of Vitality. And they're going to be extra not excited when Jojo Pune comes out of that bush and kills Karzi, who's dead. Wow. Okay. Folks, I'd love to give it a little more sauce, but there's not a lot of sauce to be had here. They're just getting run down. Nako running out to safety. Nako
Komplett gemalt. Ja.
He's gonna be dead because
Mies.
single piece of CC
Die sind fucking horrible.
is available to MKOI.
Weißt du, wie ich euch sagen soll, Guys? Die sind insanely horrible.
Push this lead.
Well, it turns out MKOI with a lead is pretty good still in our league. I think good snowball from them this game.
Good with the lead when they have CC. Let's
When they have CC, yeah.
I don't want to see another Nafiri Karma.
Nafiri Karma Mordekaiser didn't hit it for you, as now Jojo.
Cloud Soul Jojo Pune should be impossible for Linces to get away. It is. It's Jojo Pune now on a rampage. It's a 7k gold lead. And remember, the early stages,
Camille ist das Problem mit Supportspieler.
but it was on
I mean,
to weather the storm.
Camille ist halt einfach nicht gut. Ich hab's Gefühl mit Camille, wenn Gegner Leona, Shen oder sowas haben, ich schwör, Champ ist einfach useless.
That sparked hope for Vitality, but the rest of this game, they've been playing down.
Ich hol mir gleich einen Kaffee.
Yeah.
Und dann passt
I
es.
mean, Sukswang is absolutely good.
Weil hier schlafe ich sonst ein. Bei dem Gameplay schlafe ich sonst ein.
Absolutely, because the thing with Camille is that there's a lot of pressure on the Camille to make things happen. If you don't, the game will just look like this. You do not scale quite as well as the Leona. In those fights, the Leona is tankier, has more CC, and can peel better than you. What you can do is pick people, but no one really has been picked.
And I think that if you're an incredibly creative player, Camille is a champion that can still, even in an even game, do a lot of work. But if you're not in 100% in the right mindset, if your team coordination isn't on point, I think it's just so hard to force and find those angles. And it's just really limited Vitality in this game. MKOI are just walking on a victory march,
And we're
folks.
going to have to see a last stand here soon from Vitality. You need to find some kind of fight. Maybe a pick onto Mirwin is the thing you need. Maybe if you flash onto Jojo who doesn't have flash. Right now, the game is falling apart. You need to take charge of it.
On to Jojo. Immediate combo comes in. Jojo able to get some CC down, but Mirwan's ulti keeps him standing. The movement speed steroid from Cloud is disgusting. All of Vitality running. That's all they had in the tank, and it wasn't enough to even find a single kill. Linsis dead. Carzzy dead. Fiesta and Fleshy doing what they can to hold the line as Knock steps out of base. Don't know where Knock is going. He's just walking away to make sure he can fully recall. That's respectable. Will heal right back up when he gets there. MKOI.
Als nur zwei Champion-Teams so ein Hard-Champion zu spielen, einfach gut wie ist einfach eine Comp, die, also in meinem Kopf, die kann nicht funktionieren.
Determined to pass it to the side of Vitality is Fleshy. No agency, no chance to make a
Wow, das ist erbärmlich.
goes in one more time and Fiesta going to drop down yet again. MKOI absolutely the better team from start to finish in game one as they move up in the series.
And Aknako once again has to stare at his Nexus fall while all his teammates lie dead on the ground. Tough game from
Ja, die sind schlecht.
I really want to see more from them in this game too. I really need to see this team wake up because right now they are sleeping.
I agree. We need to see more, and it's one of those games where it's like, I don't know what it is, but I hope they have a strong idea. I hope they make it clear to us because it feels like everything was falling apart. But we've said what we have to say. Let's see what the desk has cooked up when it comes to talking about this game.
Yeah, we got a special desk as well because Froggen is joining us together with Odo to talk about this absolute shellacking
Froggen?
MKOI dealt to Vitality, I have to say. Froggen, were you impressed by what you saw on the Rift?
It kind of felt a bit like a stomp.
Oh, yes. It was a slow one as well, so maybe it brought back memories for you because back in the day, they were all slow.
It was very slow. I mean, this felt pretty fast compared to back in the day. We would have 20 minutes without any action.
Yeah, how fast or how slow was the
Boah, er redet viel zu chill.
It felt like even the fastest
Ich schlaf fast ein, er redet viel zu chill.
Yeah, it is. And I think I realized that yesterday too, playing Classic. Is like just walking out of base takes like a minute to get to the lane.
Yeah.
And now they're just sprinting everywhere. So I think that's a big part of why the game was slow back then.
Yeah. Talk to me about the Syndra Cassio matchup. What did it used to be like? What does it look like now? I know you've been picking up League a little bit as
So, ich hol mir ganz kurz,
I think back in the day,
Koffein,
it kind of
sonst
seems like
schlapp ich.
Casio didn't have much agency in lane, but the early lane phase, it looked like Jojo was actually doing really well and kind of pushing the Syndra around a little bit.
What about all of this action that you see? Because it, okay, back then I felt like you were AFK in the moment you joined the game. It was 10 or 14 minutes, but now it's already 3 minutes in game and the mid laners are just involved in every single fight.
Yeah, there's a lot of skirmishing, which is really fun to see, and players get to showcase if they can like dodge abilities and like whatever they can cook up with their teammates and have some synergy early on. I think it's really fun to see.
Do you think there's more skill expression for mid laners in the modern day than there was for you guys?
I think there's more skill expression now. Back then, you basically had top jungle and support that didn't really deal any damage, and you didn't have to care about them at all. Where it's like you just have to focus on a few people. Now everyone can kind of like do damage and make an impact in the game.
So EU mids was a sham.
Yeah, I mean, back then was it one of those skill sets that you needed as a mid laner to just micro manage people and tell them to come mid lane and stuff like this, or are you just more of a loner?
I think it is a mix. Where because you move so slowly around the map, you have to be on the same page as your teammates back then. Because if you split up from them, it takes like a really long time to group up again. Yeah.
Yeah, we got a screenshot for you. If you don't know what to say, I think we got it at least. I didn't check with production, but it was actually, we're working on it, so we don't have it yet. Spoiler alert. Now, you, Froggen, you were 5-6 on Cassio and 0-2 on Syndra all-time career, and this is actually the very first time I believe that you played Syndra competitively. Look at this. You also played with a Camille and a Jhin.
Yeah. I'm not a Syndra player, I'm gonna be honest. I think most of the time I'm on the Casio side of that matchup.
That's patch 7.3, so that's what, 8-9 years ago? Well, Syndra Jhin Camille was bad 9 years ago, and it's still bad today, so not much has changed.
Nothing has changed.
I mean, in solo queue, Camille is so OP.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's a lot of fun to play with Camille support.
It is.
But in competitive games, it's, I mean...
How many times did you get ganked by Camille? Because it feels like when you're an Unk and you just rock up to lane and you're, okay, I'm going to play my little bird, and I'm going to put some walls and stuff, and then bam! Yeah. Camille jumping on you level 1.
I think playing a little bit, I have had a lot of supports that are like upset at me because like, watch out, Camilla's there, and I'm like, okay, what does that mean? Like, it's fine, she can't reach me, and then I'm like, oh shit.
And used to, my supports never came to get me. Like, what is this? Odo, we expected or we wanted, I think, a strong showing from Movistar Core, right? Due to the pedigree. Are you sufficiently happy with what they showed in game 1?
Honestly, yes. I was quite happy because they fell behind in the early game, and honestly, Vitality in their typical fashion, the lead up until 5 minutes, and then everyone just wants to go home. That I felt like that was the trend. But MKOI surprised me because against such a, I guess, dynamic team comp and such an explosive team comp, it's not easy to find these ways. But when it comes to the period from 15 minutes up until to the point they ended the game, it was quite easy because they had these fundamentals locked in. They were always putting vision, they were always fighting with numbers, and they were just nullifying Camille's advantage all over the map.
It looked like it. Now Frog and Vitality's playing with a brand new mid laner, right? Only a couple of weeks of scrims. Can you give some insight into what that situation is like in the modern era, on stage, big team you're playing up against, etc.?
With all this skirmishing going on, I can imagine it's kind of hard to get the synergy going and probably need some time to actually be on the same page about a lot of the things.
Speaks a different language too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
I mean, I played with a lot of different people that have varied like levels of English, whereas like I think in League you kind of speak a lot of the same language. You don't need to know that many like different calls, right? Like you just have to be on the same page, and that's something you can practice whenever it's in scrims and stuff.
Yeah, I heard from Pat, he said that it's like the league stuff, the simple stuff is working, but it's when one layer of complexity is added, right, Odo? And that makes sense when he all of a sudden is in a position where he has the lead or he has the first move, and then he has to communicate all of that to the team.
Yeah, that's the issue with a lot of the, I guess, modern League players, is that they put a lot of energy into learning how the game should normally be played. Oh, well, normally this play should work or that play should work. But the moment that one thing goes wrong, and we saw it with Vitality plenty of times, the moment one thing goes wrong, it becomes incredibly hard, because if it's not a skill that you're practicing in scrims, if it's not part of your muscle memory, the capability to recover from bad plays and finding, you know, a baseline that you can fall back to recover, that's usually what happens when you have these sorts of newer players trying to integrate into an already functioning team.
Yes. If they were to put you in Froggen, how good would you do against Jojo?
Do I get a Nivea?
Yeah?
Yeah, I get a Nivea.
Then that's fine, that's fine. I'm pretty confident I would be able to play a Nivea.
I believe it.
It's an option, Pat. No, just kidding. I'm sure Fiesta will improve. Thank you so much, Froggen. Thank you for reminiscing and going down memory lane. And we'll see if Vitality can fight back as we get into game 2 after this.
Shut the fuck up.
As now dive comes out here, but the Galio I think will just be enough to save him. But Fiesta has splash out.
He has to force flash.
Okay!
Okay, deja el yo, largo mid. I don't reach yo. Okay, flash cancel.
It's not bad fight, They use everything,
Good job.
Welcome to the European League of Legends Championship Series.
Brother, let me try.
Wait, brother. Let us break this instead, brother.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
What is this, brother?
Perfection.
A new champion. Welcome to my shop. You'll need the right build. Choose wisely, because every upgrade brings you closer to the next level. So tell me, how will you level up?
Want to find your fastest server every time? Express like a pro and optimize your connection in one tap. Express in game without ISP throttling. Express and shield yourself from DDoS attacks. Express and choose the VPN trusted by gamers everywhere. Express VPN. Experience gaming the Express way. Fast, stable, competitive. Outplay the world. It's time to Express. Unlock free Hextech rewards, exclusive skins, and more. Scan to subscribe.
In your best man speech, you said my wife is funnier than me.
That's factually correct.
Okay.
We're in range.
It's fine, man. It's fine. Relax. I've got this. I have years and years and years of experience.
Yeah, but it's gonna.
And there we go. Look at that. What are you so worried about?
Oh,
Ja, was macht denn jetzt Vitality? Umfallen und sich knallen lassen oder was machen wir? Wie machen wir's, Friends? Ja, nix. Okay, perfekt. Braucht keinen Wechsel, ja. Gut, wenn wir zweimal 3-0 haben, dann können wir noch schön bis zur LCS Ding farmen. Da können wir noch Ding farmen. Bei Wasser. So, Lucky bis LCS, ja, oder? Muss mich nicht so beleidigen direkt. So, Mahlzeiten erstellte Iced Coffee. So. The brownish marshmallow. Oh. Ich sag, Casey holt mindestens einen Win. Ja, gut möglich. Die Tour war jetzt auch noch nicht so überzeugend weit. Also ist sehr gut möglich sogar. Was ist mal ein Gym am Freitagmorgen?
Welcome to the European League of Legends Championship Series.
So, Moment, jetzt mal.
Welcome back to Paris in the Adidas Arena, where we are getting ready for the second game of the series. Now, if you're a Vitality fan and you're just joining us, don't rewatch that first game. You're here for the second game, and that's all that matters. And we're hoping that we see a lively bounce back from this Vitality lineup, because I think it's safe to say, Finn, that MKOI just kind of smashed them.
Some would say MKOI kind of kicked their butt.
Yeah,
I think it would be safe to say that MKOI definitely kicked their gluteus, but we know Vitality players know how to fight. They literally fought their way to the first seed in spring. One mid lane change is not going to change the innate ability of every single player on this team, but right now, clearly, they are incapable of choosing and creating good fight opportunities for themselves. Now, what needs to change so they gain back that? I'm gonna say you need to give your laners more engage, more tools. Give Naknako a winning lane, give Flesh something he can engage on that maybe doesn't get one shot like the Camille, and maybe, just maybe, we're gonna see Vitality that looks like it's gonna have a slight pulse.
Yeah, I think like Fleshy Nautilus. Look, we know it's a comfort pick for him. We've seen him level up as a player. That's, you know, was a part of their success in spring, to be beyond just kind of the Nautilus, like what Nautilus.
Ja, schauen wir mal, was sie machen.
Well, they just banned it, Draco, so don't worry about it.
They banned the Nautilus. Okay, so they don't want Fleshy to return to his roots of being a Nautilus merchant. I understand that.
And that is really speaking to me, because I think that means they maybe want to play a sort of Rakan or maybe a range support bot with a Nautilus ban. I think usually I'm thinking maybe a Saya Rakan for Fleshy Karzi, maybe something like an Ezreal Karma. Obviously, Ezreal is taken out, so that's not possible. Or Lucian Milio, something like this. Maybe something with a little bit of oomph in the laning phase is what Vitality needed.
Yeah, and I think you could see, I don't know, I don't see a lot of joy in the Vitality camp right now. So I'm hoping that they can rally their mental, find some picks they're going to feel comfortable for them in-game.
Hast du bei uns geschaut? Nein.
Across the board. I don't think anyone walked away from that game one looking fantastic. So clean reset. Bard banned here. Now Akali was banned in game 1. I suspect in anticipation of the early Syndra, but
something that stands out to me, Kai'Sa is available for Super this game, has been banned a lot away from him so far this weekend, so comfort pick for him.
Yeah,
gonna see where MKOI takes his first pick. You have many options, but it's gonna be the Lee Sin for Elioya.
Ja, solider First Pick, Poppy gebannt.
Big confidence pick for him here, and I think they have realized that as long as they play fights better, they're gonna win the series.
Yeah, and I like having that Lee Sin, I like having that agency. Again, agency, the name of the game for Elioya and Alvaro. I think if we feel like if we scream it from up here, that they'll listen, and we won't have a range support for Alvaro, which, look, it sometimes works. It's a bit hyperbolic to say it never works, but it's what we like. Pairing alongside the Ahri certainly would be a good look too. The Charm, such excellent setup for the Lee Sin. But the Lucian Milio that you called out, Finn, has been locked in. So we're not going to see playmaking from the side of Fleshy. And maybe the range support here forces Alvaro to play more for the 2v2, as now it's actually the Xayah locked in. Immediately going to be the Rakan to follow.
Interesting, because Xayah Rakan into Lucian is not...
Horrible matchup, no?
It's not really a good lane matchup.
Yeah.
But this does give Alvaro Rakan, and Alvaro is a fantastic Rakan player. He can not only set up fights by going first, he also has great follow-up for when Elioya goes in with that Sonic Wave Resonating Strike, and has many ways to be dynamic and fluid in this game. I do think that you can't really leave Super alone too much, just because how strong the cooling can be, and you need to play a little bit more heavily towards the bot lane, so might not...
Aber ist fein, weil du kannst nämlich 3 gegen 3 einfach spielen, dann ist fein.
Around the entire map, kind of gameplay that we have grown to love.
Yeah.
Or hate.
Yeah, or hate. Depends on who that you are. It does feel like we'll see a little bit more honest 2v2 laning, as now we will see the Akali banned away. Of course, with Xayah locked in, there's really no potential for a flex, but just respecting how good JoJo is on the champion. And I like seeing the Pantheon for Linces. This does feel like a recipe for success for Vitality.
So what I like here...
Ja, das Problem ist, dass der Pantheon langsam ist. ADCs, ja, die haben die Memo nicht bekommen, die Idioten.
Pantheon, and I assume they're gonna try to secure strong laners that they can play for. Pantheon can join any lane that's having a good trade. You take a good trade top, Pantheon is there. You take a good trade bot, Pantheon is there. And they're also setting up the last pick for, I assume, Naknako. So I want to see them just take
Orkan, was hast du anzubieten?
Wait, like they did last game.
Would certainly be an excellent setup, especially with them having last pick here. If they could get a bunch of strong winning lanes. Now, in between the break, we were talking about, wow, that was some Rogue vibes from Vitality. And when we brought it up, we were referring to the dark days of Rogue. But if we look at the good days of Rogue, Finn, the top 3 days of Rogue, 3 winning lanes was the key to success. If you can just get a bunch of winning lanes and Goomba Stomp early on, you can go a long, long way. Now,
Orianna 4-5 gegen die Ahri? Ahri, oder?
Absolutely not. And I think usually it's because Lock is open. You don't want to take Orianna if Lock is open, but Lock is banned. And I want to see where MKOI takes this answer, because it's, as you say, Drake, because it's one of the best mid laners on the patch. Only really gets countered by Lock and Akali. Both are taken out already, and it will be a Victor counterpick, which is kind of a neutralizer. The lane is quite slow. You're going to see them trade their ults a little here and there, just to get wave push-outs, but it's really in team fights where these two champions shine. As we see the Ambessa blind for Murin, something that he has grown to love as well. Pretty bold blind pick against the man that plays Renekton, because Renekton,
ja, ich weiß nicht, warum der da besser pickt. Also alle sagen, das Matchup ist nicht so schlecht, aber ich finde das Matchup immer noch horrible. Ich mag den MKOI Draft nicht so sehr. Not gonna lie.
I think you should. It feels like very clear path to success. Strong 2v2 bot lane. Milio Lucian can be super oppressive. I see the theoretical potential of what MKOI have put together here. But Vitality with a clear plan for success in the
Ja, weiß ich nicht, ich mag den, also
plan for success that doesn't hinge on
also Lane Phase für, also das ist sehr, ich finde es sehr disrespectful, weil die Lane ist insanely horrible, by the way. Also diese Lane Phase ist insanely horrible für die.
bot lane duo that we've seen them succeed on a lot of times before.
Yeah, and I absolutely love Vitality's draft. I think kudos to Vitality.
Ja, also die haben hard-winning Lanes auf jeden Fall.
The draft all together. Strong lanes, strong supporting jungler. Now on the other side, MKOI has a draft that says Elyoya and Alvaro is gonna make magic. Let me be clear, if Elyoya and Alvaro does not make magic, I don't see how MKOI wins this game. The
Agreed.
pressure is on them this time. Last game it was on Fleshy, on that Camille, but now that has flipped.
Was macht das Matchup nicht gut? Ist Renekton ein besser Matchup?
Strong the support jungle
Oder welches?
really is.
I agree. It's a lot of pressure. You pick the Zyrakan into the Lucian Milio. This
Ja, well, er outtradet dich, er outsustained dich. Seine W empowered hat ja Shield Break. Gegen deinen W-Spell ist keiner useless. Ja, ist einfach schwierig. Er gewinnt da Lins mit Level 6.
It's the Penn and Teller draft. Let's see if they can fool Vitality, get more out of these individual skill expressive picks than they should be able to on paper. Because a lot of times it can be tough. Of course, I will say, shout out to Cards using into this one. 400 games in EU. Actually insane.
That's a big number.
I feel like it was yesterday when he joined the league. Obviously a part of that Mad Lions lineup that kind of took the league by storm. And former teammates.
Aber Vitality ist einfach schlecht. Vitality ist einfach schlecht, ja.
Those two guys.
Especially a lot of history with Mad, or MKOI as they're now called as well.
Yeah.
Bit of a grudge match, as you see. Super and Alvaro most likely gonna have to give up the push here in the bot lane. Really needs that level 3, where you get all those feathers, you get Rakan's all the maneuverability of the E and W, get it with a gleaming Quill Q. That's where you see that lane really wake up. So we expect to see Flesh and Cars have a firm grip on this wave state.
Yep, for now. Just using the double daggers from Supa to trade at range. Doing what they can to at least vaguely threaten a fight for level 2. Although unlikely that they'll really be able to contest.
He's just slamming it on the table right now, just walking up to Fiesta.
Fiesta is... What is Fiesta doing here? I mean, credit to Fiesta, he turned... Okay.
Once again, Jody Pune having a lot of success in the early trades. We saw it yesterday or not yesterday, today in the previous game on the Casio. Now on the Victor, using that early shield to really trade aggressively. Nice laser. Fiesta a little bit late on the shield.
Fiesta wird komplett geknallt.
First
wow. Wow, der wird geknallt. Also das ist nicht gut. Das ist kein guter Look. Du kannst nicht so Look gewinnen, geht nicht.
When he gets early kills or assists, really accelerates when he gets his skill upgrades. Victor is not a strong early game skirmisher. He should not get early kills.
No, I agree.
This is...
And we said
Der spielt wie mein linker C.
We said MKOI we're going to need to make magic. But we thought it was
Und zwar jedes Game.
putting a lady in the box, saw her and a half, putting together. It was JoJo.
Putting a lady in the box?
You've never seen the trick with a saw and it's like... I'm referencing magic tricks here.
Are you putting ladies in the box?
No, Vince, no. Bro, please, I don't need that joke to be the one that follows me around. Regardless, Jojo Pune in the end is the one who makes someone disappear in the mid lane, and now it's gonna be hard for Fiesta because he didn't buy anything when he backed as refillable, but
Ja.
dies.
Also erneut, diese Matchups, die sind, ich schwöre es euch, diese Drafts sind sehr winning. Diese Lanes. Aber ich weiß nicht, wie sie, also wie kannst du hier 1v1 traden auf Botlane zum Beispiel? Ich check nicht, wie das ist. Ich check's nicht.
Stun flat forward from Lynch, just a body block. Fiesta holding on for Elyoya. Quick safeguard out from Elyoya. Will make it out. Flash away from the stun. Q in, back onto Fiesta, and another kill. Oh,
Ja, okay, die sind zu schlecht. Okay, also Vitality ist genuinely horrible. Ich meine, wir müssen sie noch gehen gegen ein Team, das ja, also, weiß ich nicht. Die sind so fucking bad.
Are you not entertained? They're fighting everywhere right now. We're not seeing any trade stop, and now guys are
I will say, last game we had the latest first blood of the split so far. It is refreshing to up the pace of the game, but I am immediately sad for Fiesta.
I'm concerned.
I am concerned. I want the Fiesta to be fun, but right now it is in fact a pity party. maybe a funeral,
Yeah,
based on the number of deaths that are happening
I'm gonna
already.
quote Jack Spectra and say that this Fiesta is turning into a siesta.
Yeah, well, I wish it was a siesta, because then we would all feel well rested. It's getting worse than
Und
that.
ich habe auch gefunden, wo er da war, hat bei den Türken gespielt. Zuletzt, davon Korea. Mal schauen, also wie gesagt, das ist halt, also G2 KC sind halt die besten Teams, right? MKOI heute, das ist schon hart. Das ist hart.
Taking a deep breath right now after all that early fighting. Fiesta pushing out mid here. Really wants to get a base so he can get a little bit of item components so he can actually scrap with his Victor right now. He's just sitting with the boots and refillable, not really the stats you want. Nako is brewing a small lead in the top lane. It's really level 6 where this matchup becomes really good for the Renekton. When you get the Dominus, all that ticking damage, all those extra stats make it so difficult for Ambessa to contest you in a long lane like top lane.
Also die Top 3 in Vitality, ich weiß nicht, ob MKOI, also die Frage ist, wer ist Top 3, wenn es nicht MKOI ist, was schon traurig ist, weil dann siehst du halt den Unterschied, ne? Aber wer ist denn Top 3, wenn es nicht MKOI ist? Giants? Nee.
Oh no, he doesn't sidestep E.
Oh mein Gott. Wie sieht Fnatic aus? Das kann ich dir nächstes Wochenende sagen. Großer Gott, mach aus, das Ding. Navi wird nicht gut sein.
Linsa's gonna try to start this dragon right now. It still has the bot push of Carsey and Fleshy.
Hat die Qualität abgenommen, ich habe keine Ahnung, was es ist.
Nice backstep on the ulti from Nako. Mirwin not gonna
Gut,
hit
okay.
anything. Could just be the solo bolo here. Cold a week ready to go. Ooh, Mirwin. Flash just barely taking him out there.
Yeah, but now he has no flash. You know, when Linsa's ticks over to level 6 and gets that Grand Skyfall, could be a lot of opportunity for Vitality to attack Mervin once again before his flash comes back up.
True. And some gold leads at least for the side.
Fiesta war bei Papara Supermassive, als sie gegen, die waren bei EMR-Mass, haben da gegen Lost of Tones, das war das Lost of Tones, ja. Dann war das 25, war 25, ne? 24, 25, 25, 25.
Well, Finn, we are seeing the magic we asked for.
War 25. Jesus Christ, er lebt. Okay. Er lebt nicht. Es ist so over. Es ist brutal over, guys.
And this is, I mean,
he's accelerated.
We're just seeing the story.
Es ist ein Humiliation Ritual hier.
Which is they're so close to getting something on that tiniest sliver.
Okay, he's on a ward.
Ja, Fiesta hat schon, also Fiesta hat ein hartes Debütwochenende, also hartes LEC-Debütwochenende, das kann man sagen.
He's halfway towards his Q upgrade. This is insane. He has 45 stacks on his second upgrade until he gets it.
Well, Alvaro's here, level 5. Weird thing, 7 minutes support level 5, very strange. Not something we're used to seeing. Yeah, it should be like level 2 or 3 in my experience, but you know, nice change of pace. As
yeah, let's see, where can Vitality go? You still have Nako, he's super accelerated, going for the early eclipse. Is still a power.
Ja, I guess du musst durch Okan spielen, aber auch ein Okan wird dir das Game hier nicht geben können.
Really good gravity field there. Punishing Fiesta. Getting that good trade. Of course, it's only a catalyst for Jojo. Opting for a tankier build, I think makes a lot of sense when you.
Seitdem sie erst wurden, gegangen sind 0-12 oder sowas, ja. Ja, also ich kann es dir nicht mal sagen. Ich könnte es dir wirklich nicht sagen, wo es bei Vitality, also da geht ja gar nichts. Die können nicht lanen, die können nicht Teamfight, da geht gar nichts. Vielleicht werden die halt so regelmäßig in Scrims durchgeknallt, dass der alle jegliche Selbstbewusstsein weg ist, weißt du? Das kann halt wirklich sein.
This is a classic play, swapping topside for 8-minute grubs. I think they're a little bit behind it as they still haven't gotten the wave shoved in as the grubs are getting started, but Lindsys has to be careful here.
Mirwin doesn't have TP quite yet. Right now, Vitality could contest and have a numbers advantage.
Lindsys gets 1 grub. I think Vitality should be happy with that and just walk away. That's the ult he used. Arcane Storm.
Flash von Alvaro. Okay,
Carsey's flash.
Mirwin is moving up now. I think this bodes well for MKOI. Vitality to stay around. They might bite off more than they could chew.
The ulti already down for Jojo though, so not a whole lot of damage left here. And both sides are just going to walk away. There's really no counter play on the opposite side of the map for Vitality, however, so they are just going to lose out on a grub. And at least 1 minion of CS is super finally going to get back into that top lane.
There's also 2 waves in bot that just died to the tower, so it stings a little bit that you couldn't make more of that opportunity where you had a 5 versus 4 for like 25 seconds.
Oh, Mirren's going to try to ult Fiesta. Fiesta, good backstep.
Movement.
That ability is fake now unless you hit CC first, just for anyone who doesn't know. The hitbox is too small. It's Fiesta.
Oder Flash Kick.
We got a kick in the face.
I don't even think he needed to kick Flash, but
no,
he clearly wanted to.
Persönliches
And
Ding hier.
This is the point in this game where, look, folks, I would love to build you up on the story of Vitality. And I do firmly believe that this is one weekend of games against the top tier opponents in our league. So I don't think we should count Vitality out. I think that would be incredibly unfair.
Ja, genau. Na, also das sind, wie gesagt, wahrscheinlich die Top-Teams.
So let's all just acknowledge there is a dead horse. Now, Finn and I have kicked it a little bit, but we're going to hope that that horse is going to get back on its foot as Linsis goes for a play.
He's lying down.
No, it's the horse is dead. So we're going to avoid kicking it. We don't want to throw any more shade Vitality.
But we got to acknowledge that there's a dead horse lying.
But there is a dead horse lying. This is not a good start. This is, in fact, incredibly disastrous start for Vitality. Look, swapping one member, sometimes it gives you that honeymoon phase. This has done, in fact, it's seemingly the exact opposite.
A divorce, yeah.
And Vitality now on a colossal lose streak. We have a graphic. I'm not even going to run it. I'm sorry, Sophie, who just edited the graphic, because I think it's a little bit too BM. So we're just going to leave it at that.
Ja, wahrscheinlich die Statistik, ich glaube, die stehen wirklich unironically 0-12. Also wie du geschrieben hast, Marv, ich glaube, die stehen wirklich 0-12. Die waren 0-6 in Playoffs und davor haben sie 0-6 in Playoffs. Und davor hatten sie 2 verloren Ende der Regular Season, right?
Looks like Fiesta's going to blast cone away. And maybe still die, but no, Blast Cone gives him enough space.
Yeah, so I do want to say that this could easily have been the story of
Ich glaube, nur haben sie 1 am Ende verloren?
Yesterday and the day
Wenn sie Freitag gewonnen haben, nein, sie stehen jetzt 0-3. Also das ist der 0-3-Tag. Ach so, mit Maps, warte mal. Haben sie einfach, nee, sie sind 0-6 gegangen dieses Wochenende, ne? 0-6 plus Playoffs 0-6, ja, du hast recht, es müsste 0-12 sein. Ja.
But they keep messing up the most basic stuff, and it's so frustrating to watch. So far in this series, though, they are looking a lot better. I think game 1, their patience. Here, game 2, they knew that Alvaro and Elioya had to be the playmakers, and they have really stepped up.
Finn, you feel like you're about to be cast in a modern version of one of those movies where a teacher goes to a rough school and teaches the kids valuable.
How can I reach these kids?
How can I reach these kids? That was the exact reference I was looking for. Someone's got to teach them. It's on Melzet. Melzet has to teach these kids because they have so much potential. And right now they're showing a lot of that potential, but again, they're not super contested here. And I think this is what's frustrating for MKOI is, look, good for them and their fans to find these wins. MKOI, no doubt, are still a top team in our league. The question is, how high up on the tier list are they? If you just watch this game, they look like the best team we've ever seen. Now, unfortunately, there are some other games where they struggled a bit more, so we'll need to see what it looks like there. Linsis kicking this fight off. Solid start. Alti comes out from Fleshy for the extra healing and the cleanse. Carzzy still debating if he can walk in. Super really playing on the edge here. Shockwave behind is a good start.
Shockwave.
Now in the meantime, signs of life from the side of Vitality. Elioya sprinting, running for his life. Oh, a shutdown for Fiesta! And this is what we talked about. MKOI, they got all the answers right, but they forgot to write their name on the test, Finn! And now they're falling apart! Shield ball in.
Gold ist even. Wie geht's? Wie geht's?
Linsis with the Comet Spear. My God, what a throw!
How can I reach these kids?
Großer Gott.
Because they keep doing it the moment I praise them for the one thing they have been sucking at. They instantly prove me wrong and do it once again. They go so deep onto that kill onto Carzzy and Fleshy. You can just take their summoner spells, throw your ultimates at them. They're gonna have to flash out, and then you can re-engage when your ults are back up. But they go so deep and get punished by a really good ult by Fleshy and a great turn by Carzzy.
Yeah. See, here we see the initial pick. It looks like it's to be solid.
It's over. It's over now. The play is over. Just walk back, set up control, but Elioya really wants to take this fight, and I think all of MKOI wants to take this fight. But this ult by Fleshy creates so much space for Carzzy to fight, and a great Aegis blocking thing shield by Pantheon really blocks so much damage and baits all of MKOI in.
It's called Aegis Assault, or Aegis Assault. So if you just said Aegis, you would have been right, man. That was really close.
It doesn't make sense that it's an assault, because it's like blocking things.
Well, yeah, but he's also stabbing with a spear, Finn. These are the things we have to take account of. And here, that's called Shield Ball. There's the Aegis Assault, it's done. And then Jojo dies. So, big money for Linsis. Let's see what Vitality, fresh lease on life. Gold dead even. Jojo Pion still wildly ahead in the 1v1, however. But now Knock Knocko's on the way in. Gonna get walked out menacingly.
Oh, he
Flash in, Knock Knocko. About to get stunned up. The
Okay, MKOI gewinnt. Pause. Pause, nicht Pause. Oh. Orkan.
Down he goes.
Orkan.
And that,
Orkan.
the momentum for Vitality. It was in their favor. They swung things back to even, but that little play, that little...
Wir hatten noch sowas Gutes am Laufen.
Like it takes it away from them right again, and this is the struggle of a team. And talking about a team who has struggled so much is you want so badly to give them the benefit of the doubt, but the tiniest mistakes just take away that bit of hope that they built in the previous play.
It's a heartbreaker, really well done by Jojo, and that's why you buy the Rod of Ages. You see him kiting around in his own gravity field, stalls until Naknako gets stunned, stalls until his team comes and help him, and stalls until Naknako sadly perishes. But now he's back in it.
Uses the kick to escape, or probably would have died there. So maybe over-eager from the side of MKOI, but nice that they're able to contest a bit the blue. Still
nice
only an
pickup by
800
Merwin
gold
there.
lead.
He has rushed the death stance, really helps in his matchup.
Das war Predictable schlecht aus. Er sieht in Person viel, viel besser aus.
Seeing more and more in bruisers.
Trust. Er sieht in Person viel, viel, viel besser aus.
Buys the death stance is just the one that stands on top in these extended fights. Also has so much built-in spellvamp from her ultimate passive, so such a great buy on Ambessa.
Yeah, giving you those couple of extra seconds after Renekton has used that big combo to try to heal back up, get down some damage of your own. A couple extra seconds when it's so cooldown based is really can make all the difference, even if you're losing out on some of the damage you would get from a first Eclipse or something else. Now checking in, Jojo Pune versus Fiesta. Still a pretty big advantage for Jojo. Also with a more of a scaling option in the form of the Roa, but you will get a little bit more burst from Fiesta on this first item.
Looking at Linces right now with a Grand Skyfall.
Linces moving in, Exis Assault for the extra movement speed. Dash in from Carzzy. Lockdown is there immediately.
Nice.
Jesus.
Carzzy finds the kill. Fleshy and Carzzy playing so damn well. Flash forward on Jojo Pune to get away from the shockwave is big. Alvaro looking for the interrupt and he catches Linces in the meantime. Jojo Pune on the chase, but Fiesta zoning away perfectly, kiting this one out. Elyoya coming in from behind, looking to finish him off. Carzzy blinking health bar, but he's living for now.
Es ist der Vitality Win.
Managing to grab another. Elyoya does the
Großer Gott. Er wird gemockt, okay.
Jojo gets one back. Jojo going in. Fiesta has to flash back. Q getting charged up. Comet Spear can do a lot of work. Okay.
Boah, der Firegloss hat einfach so gekillt.
Okay, Vitality, okay.
Also ich sage, die gewinnen das Game.
I see what you're doing.
That's right.
I see what you're doing and I like it.
I don't know whose test is whose, but both of you are getting a
Ah,
lot.
und danke für den 6. Dankeschön.
Yeah, so look at his great Grand Skyfall, cuts off Supa, and look at Flesh's ult here. He cleanses Carzzy from the Rakan charm, so he can finish off Supa. Great display of synergy from the Vitality bot lane. And suddenly now you have Kareld, all of MKOI under this tower. Georgian flashes forward over the shockwave, but doesn't quite have the damage to finish off the Fiesta. And here comes the Heartbreaker in the bottom side. We won't see it, I think, but Elyoya kicks the Milio away and can't finish him off. And it's just an easy cleanup here for Vitality. There we see it.
Yeah, it is a play that just keeps on going. But Carzzy is getting a lot here. Technically a little bit unfortunate that Fleshy stole that kill, but now Carzzy is 2 items. This Lucian is going to hurt. And Supa, look, one of the struggles about Xayah, and to be fair, often a struggle for Lucian as well, is these champions really want to build both the Essence Reaver as well as the Navori, and it delays that IE. But when Carzzy's the one who's so far ahead of the clock with that extra pickaxe in his inventory, he's going to be sitting pretty in these fights.
Especially when Lucian gets so strong, they can actually dash forward into Victor, not like double lift. With all those item advantages, with that Milio range, suddenly it becomes a lot more difficult for MKOI to play on the mid waves because you are outranged. So here, Supa is struggling to play a little bit.
Ulti out, guess this is going to walk him down, forces the flash.
There's Elyoya.
Supa caught sleeping, had the ulti, could have gotten away from the shockwave, just didn't respect it.
You can't.
He cannot move.
Okay.
And again, it's Alvaro.
Er ist so ein Fieder. Also alle sind Fieder. Alle sind Fieder. Das ist super, da fast stirbt, ist so krank.
At the beginning of the game, we said Elyoya and Alvaro has to make magic for MKOI to win this game. And so far, I think they're getting a B+.
Yeah, they're getting a lot of magic. I mean, Jojo Pune has definitely made more magic. Although I say that, and now clearly I have caster cursed him. Actually, he's caster cursed himself. He's just, oh, surprise! A new opponent has occurred. You thought you were in the 1v1, not go, not messing around this time.
Warum nimmst du den Kill? Hast du Brain Damage?
Fair enough.
It's easiest Pantheon. I mean,
Junge, dein Toplane hat TP'd. Hast du Brain Damage?
Yeah, alright. Fair enough, fair enough.
Respect.
And the big thing is, if you look at the gold, Vitality are ahead every single place on the map except for mid. So if Jojo's dead, they're actually very, very favored. So Finn, we found the secret. If we refer to Vitality as, or talking about Vitality's poor performance as a dead horse,
Ja, Fiesta ist ein Praktikant.
suddenly steps down. And
Dem muss noch beigebracht werden, wie man den Besen hält.
a bit of a banger of a game. It's 19 minutes. 9 kills to 8. It's damn close.
And especially because Vitality is starting to stack these dragons as well. 2 dragons already. Third mountain dragon is spawning in just a bit, and I think Vitality would love to pick that up.
Carzzy dashing in despite not having the vision there. Feeling relatively comfortable as they do have the other brush warded. Now they can clear out the control ward of MKOI, trying to take a bit of time to set up here. 3 minutes away from Drake does make things a little bit more difficult as Knock-Knocko, a very powerful man, is still running forward. The cozy campfire, give him a bit of extra power as he just continues to run face first into MKOI.
Also was die da machen, ne?
That's gonna be one quick kill picked up. Vitality, just a slow.
Ja, ist verschrottet mit der Stielseite, das ist krank.
Yeah, I'm not sure
SK kann nicht Playoffs schaffen, nein. SK kann nicht Playoffs schaffen, nein.
Goes in, tries to shield, tries to knock up someone that goes on him. Now you might have to end up giving this tower. Linces goes in with a stun.
Super crucially has that ulti back up and available, but the Aegis Assault makes it easy for Linces to jump in and jump out. Jojapune taking a tower in the meantime. Shockwave.
Was macht er?
Feathers pulled back to Root Fiesta.
Aber war es ein Shockwave oder was? War es ein Shockwave? War eine Shockwave, ne? Die er geultet hat. Ich hab's nur nicht gesehen dann.
Jojapune not going to give MKOI the opportunity to leverage the strength of their mid laner.
Yeah, and I don't know how much dough Kars has got in his pocket right now, but I think he might pull up with Infinity Edge soon from base. And the moment he gets that free item spike, the damage from these bursty trades with the Relentless Pursuit will be so big.
Aureo Ulti.
Very true is Linces. Still comfortable in his own jungle. Will grab up the additional blue buff.
Yeah, I think Kars is just trying to stay and soak up as much gold as possible before this dragon.
Mario gegen Jopa.
Super walks up.
Ich weiß, Saya Rakan ist, ich verstehe, Saya Rakan, also einfach Intolution Mio pickst du Saya Rakan, wie kommst du darauf, das verstehe ich auch nicht. Geht nicht in meinen Kopf, das geht legit nicht in meinen Kopf rein. Macht der Typ. Luko, danke für den 8. Und Aaron, danke für den 6. Aber ich habe schon gesagt, ne?
Potential angle of attack for the side of MKOI.
BLG hat gewonnen. 2-1. Ja, MKOI für das Game. Die sind auch insanely bad. Aber to be fair, der Draft ist auch einfach schwer. Was? Er hat Deathstance, deswegen nimmt er kein Damage, aber der ist tot. Er ist tot. Junge, kann Linkas aufhören, jeden Kill zu hitten? Ohne Spaß. Reicht.
And I think great relentless aggression from Carzzy and Fleshy has brought them back.
And from Linces, 4-0-4 from this man on the Pantheon. TP's mid coming in. MKOI don't want to give this one up easy, but it's a bit of a split call from Vitality. Aegis Assault down right now for Linces. Baron taking a damn long time, but they've got the flank. They boxed MKOI in. Knock-Knocko has popped the dominance. Elyoya locked up. No chance for the Herald to respond to take him out to safety. Jojapune instead is the one who's going to mount up and try to escape. But it's going to get him out in the middle of...
Junge, nee, Alter. Das ist so krank. Also ich sage, guck mal. Hallo Tanja, ich sage, der Draft ist fucking... Actually, wow, ich bin der beste Drafter der Welt.
Vitality have come alive
Im Draft gesagt, Free-Win für Vitality. Vitality schafft das Game zu gewinnen, also da müsst ihr immer überlegen. Ich glaube, der Draft ist, also die spielen auch wie Müll. Right, die spielen wie Müll, 100%, aber der Draft von denen ist auch sehr schwer.
He's trying to delay them so they can't just randomly start dragging and try to rush that down before Linces can make it out. Has the Grand Skyfall in 7 seconds. I think maybe Linces is going to try to move down there so they can actually take this dragon as well.
Hoping to take this one away as Fleshy continues to wander in.
Looks like he's going to give it. He's going to get their items. You see now Carzzy.
But Infinity Edge. Infinity Edge, it's Baron, and we look back at this play. Pretty messy from the side of MKOI, really not respecting the potential for that Pantheon to go in.
I mean, no matter how much magic you're making, how much whatever you do, 80 carries will always walk up on mid wave. It's always a win condition no matter what. And MKOI tries to somehow get Elyoya into position to steal this Baron, but Vitality just calmly walks away from it and forces a fight. Completely correct decision by them. And Jojo, that car is it's not taking you anywhere good, I promise you.
Certainly isn't. Jojo, again, the most fed member of the team, but the only one really participating in that particular exchange after Supa fell. And another situation where Supa's ulti's down, does have the flash, does have the exhaust, but he's on 2.5 items. There's an entire IE extra for Carzzy right now.
And Jojo, all the gold is on you, but you're buying so many tank items. You look at his items, it's Roa.
Wow, er hat 200 AP.
He's not really optimizing to do a lot of damage.
Jesus Maria.
MKOI needs right now.
Der hat sogar keine 200 AP wahrscheinlich.
A large amount of damage. And I think they're looking towards Super right now because Jojo, he's just gonna be a bastion, but he can't really kill anyone with Vitality.
Yeah, and I think it's a situation where now that Carzzy has become such a massive problem, you need to one-shot him, but you really do not have the tools to do so.
283.
Positions, and even if he makes a small hiccup, you have the Milio there to
Fatal.
close him out, to heal him up, the cozy campfire as well. It means the MKOI are really struggling to answer this Baron push.
I mean, LEC needs to find a kick better than Ferran Torres here to finish out the game, because right now, Vitality are pushing on their base.
Bastard.
Goes a little bit wide.
Was macht Jojo da? Schlaganfall. Oder Toki.
The moment he walks up, gets shunked to 30% HP.
MKOI trying to hold the line. Vitality, a resurgence in performance. The kick, good initially.
Was war das? Nein, der Flash war scheiße. Der Kick war scheiße. Aber Mervin Ulti. Warum ultet der nicht? Hä? Warum ultet der nicht? Boah, Carzzy, du bist auch so anklatsch. Oh, du bist so ekelhaft. Oh, du bist so ekelhaft.
Now he's on the chase. 3 members left standing. MKOI keep their base alive.
It's a 1-for-1, but I think MKOI is very happy with that. Carzzy ends up stepping a little bit too far forward. Doesn't have the Milio ult, doesn't have the Milio heal, has no flash, and ends up going down to Jojo. So in the end, I think MKOI gets a little bit of breathing room to maybe scale up, maybe get free items onto Super as well to match damage. But look at Fiesta.
Oh.
Was?
What? No. Ah. Okay.
Alter.
Let's not address that.
Okay, let's just move on.
Yeah.
So, Finn, everyone has been super critical of Vitality. I think rightfully so. What do you feel like has been different this game? You can tell me after we talk about this play.
Yeah, let's talk about this play, because LEC just wants to find a kick to start.
Avaro war ein bisschen langsamer, I guess, mit dem Engage, oder? Deswegen. Sieht komisch aus. Warum ultet Mervin nicht? Ich verstehe es nicht.
If Mervin is there as they go in, I think this fight is fantastic for MKOI. But it's the fact that they can kite back. The Lynx has blocked so much damage with the Aegis Assault. And if Carzzy didn't overstep here a little bit, I think we're looking at least an inhibitor in the favor of Vitality.
Fortunately, he did overstep. The good news is he had enough money to go back and buy that 4th item as well. Knock.
Flash on Knock.
Potentially straying a bit too far in this island. Does it make it over?
Oh, Khan.
Oh, God, that is not good.
He bumped his nose on the wall. He doesn't get over the slice. No dice is not enough to get him to safety.
Absolutely no dice on that one. Good news is neither side has soul point. We're still 2 minutes away from the next objective, and he didn't have a flash anyway to burn. Also, just now completed GA. So it's embarrassing. It doesn't really matter that much.
I mean, it's not great for Vitality, because I think they are still feeling the pressure a little bit. Every single time someone gets caught, every single time a play goes a little bit wrong, you start feeling that your grasp of the game slowly fade away from the grasp of your hand. And I think they really want to just cleanly finish this game out so you can go into game 3 with a good mindset.
So back to our earlier discussion. What do you feel like has been different? Now, I don't want to sugarcoat it. MKOI have obviously made a lot of mistakes to give Vitality angles back into this game after they built up that early deficit. But what are Vitality doing better?
To me, it started in the draft. You saw it immediately. They banned the Nautilus to set up this Lucian Milio to have, firstly, one strong lane they can play for. And you saw how much pressure Carzzy and Flesher was able to exude in that lane. And then it came from the Pantheon. Suddenly you have a jungler that can always join the fight, no matter how weird it becomes. And the cherry on top is really, I think, a misplay from MKOI. The fact that they blind pick Ambessa into Naknako, who's such a formidable Renekton player.
The calling now comes out. Naknako's Renekton now ready to lead the charge. It's a death cap picked up for Jojo Pune.
Also Carzzy hat kein Flash, das ist die einzige Win-Condition für MKOI, glaube ich, gerade. Meiner Meinung nach.
They want to come out on top. Gravity field down.
Double J, Flash up bei Fiesta.
Flash in, immediate stun.
Oh mein Gott, Mervin, Alter. Alter. Großer Gott. Geiler Play. GG.
Trying desperately to clear the wave. We were so critical of the coordination of Vitality, but it's MKOI who fumble it in the moment.
I mean, now they're gonna run down mid here, and Nako's not gonna cry crocodile tears. They're gonna be of joy as Vitality pick up their first win, most likely, I hope.
To be fair, gestern das LeBlanc-Game von Fiesta war schon okay. Also der wurde dann halt geknallt, aber der wurde auch sehr outnumbered die ganze Zeit um mit herum. Muss man fairerweise sagen.
Allows Carsey to relentless pursue out of the knockup before that lands, before the perfect execution, chains the CC and chains him down until he dies.
I don't think the public execution has landed a single time this game. Every single time dodged away, no doubt, due in part to Fleshy and those incredible ultimates. 2-0-16 from Fleshy.
Wäre Bembo Top 3, Top 9 in der LEC, weiß ich, der sieht echt nicht gut aus.
Buying a bit more time. Jojo Pune is here with an ulti available. Vitality, if they make a mistake here, it might cost them the game. Mirwan continuing to step up, calling down for Carsey. Initial wave clear, but now it's Jojo Pune in trouble. Carsey doing a hell of a lot of damage.
They're not the Vults though. I think this will be hard to defend for MKOI.
5 seconds left. Shockwave. Jojo Pune goes golden. Follow up for Lensis. Jojo Pune still living for an extra moment. Kick back. Coming in. Carsey ticking. Flat forward from Supa. Can he make the difference? All 5 members of Vitality still alive.
A lot of low health bars, but no ults on the team of MKOI. Can Vitality clean this out? No, they're just going to turn to the Baron, I think, and maybe the Dragon in the end.
Wieder kein Flash bei beiden Carries von Vitality.
One last chance to try to salvage this game state that they have brawled their way down into.
MKOI praying they can make this a 2-0 so people don't have to look any closer at what transpired in this
MKOI's
game.
gonna get the Dragon.
MKOI setting up. It will just be Soul Point, however. It's not going to be the actual Soul itself. So Vitality seem content to give it up. But Carsey, the man that we have to watch in these fights, supported by Fleshy, doing a lot of work, drawing a lot of fire.
Yeah, so it starts with Alvaro just going down to the cooling here. But luckily, Georgian still has a lot of damage, a lot of wave clear, and it's Aljoya finding this miracle kick onto Carsey that completely nullifies it. Look at this angle he finds. Resonating strike, ward hop into kick flash onto Carsey. He has to flash out, has to back.
Honestly, one nice try.
Doesn't end up going down to Super. I think he might have out-attacked the wrong target there. But still, that kick might have saved the game for MKOI.
Certainly feels like it's at least bought them a second chance, a second life here. 10,000 gold lead for Vitality. They just need to get it over the finish line.
Ist nicht so schwer, die Outrange noch. Also die es ist wirklich nicht so schwer. Nur kein Flash mehr auf Karte wieder. Aber es ist irgendwie Komfortzone von ihnen.
Still 4 minutes away before Soul is even on the table for MKOI.
Where do you go from here for MKOI? You have no flashes. Your ways to engage is just Alvaro getting in there somehow. Georgian sure has the flash, but he can't engage. Let's see how the Baron will be used here by Vitality. If they can actually get a siege up, or if the wave clear of victory is just going to be too powerful.
Linces with ulti split pushing in the mid lane. Good recognition of their power in the form of a semi-global.
Ist Not gegen Elend oder guckbar? Ist Not gegen Elend. Ich fand mit Ausnahme von, als Vitality den Lead hatte, haben sie es eigentlich okay gespielt.
Super minions in the mid lane demand attention, and it means MKOI likely to concede another tower here.
But the waves are not completely.
Botlane Wave ist gut, nein, aber schaut, Botlane Wave ist fein. Die können hier reinspielen, also direkt Botlane ist gut. Kann Ori immer noch gepickt werden, ist immer noch gut. Holy fuck. Nicht der beste Champion immer noch, nicht der beste Champion, aber so Game 2, Game 3. Champion ist so tot, ne? Wirklich.
Tower respawning at 1/3 HP, huge damage onto Carsey. The Arcane Storm pushing Vitality back for one wave, but another coming in the top wave.
But he has the Vamp Scepter, maybe he can live steal a little bit on this wave, get that health bar back up, because MKOI now lost the Chaos Storm.
Super is in the mid lane.
Dieser Victor-Bild ist auch so disgusting. Sie gleitet gut. GG. Orkan, was machst du?
Vitality marching their way into MKOI's base, bringing us to a game 3. They looked down and out, but in game 2 they have come alive.
GG.
Too excited, but you can understand why. As we're gonna move on to.
Ich glaube, Vitality spielt auch sehr OP. Ich spiele auch besser.
And let it be known that no one defeats Vitality 12 games in a row. We're now gonna toss it to our analyst desk, and they're gonna break down that game.
they're gonna catch it. Finally, the KC crowd is
So, ich hol ganz kurz Abendessen. Ihr dürft raten, was es heute gibt.
enemy is my friend. As
Eine Überraschung.
Vitality knocks down MKOI Pack. What? They were already down. I'm sorry, that wasn't really adequate because they already didn't win the series this whole weekend. Why are you looking at me like that?
I mean, it's a mess. Like, this is not Sublime League of Legends. This is not what we expect to see later today.
But does it matter?
I think for both of these teams, it kind of matters.
I mean, they're both in the mud is my point, right?
That is true, and if this was a mud wrestling competition, they'd both be winning.
Yes.
However, this is a League of Legends competition, and I'm not impressed by anything I'm seeing. Like, the good thing for Vitality is when they got a lead, they were able to kind of snowball it away from MKOI, but the way they got the lead was not too impressive.
But MKOI was like, they were out of the mud. You know, they were kind of nearly walking the victory lap. They were getting there.
Spa day.
But then they just had the most, like, it's the most MKOI-esque 2 minutes. Like, I just feel like this team, they cannot help themselves just getting caught back to back to back to back. And if we look at that Nash sequence where Vitality get their first Nash, it starts with, it's like, okay, Super gets caught.
Sure.
Happens, right? You should not get caught here because you are weaker in the 2v2 and they have a Pantheon, right? We can always nitpick. We can say things, but it's fine. Your ADC dies. It's not the end of the game. MKOI still have a lead after this. But then why does your ADC's dead? Why are you here?
3 minions there, man.
You got 3 minions, but then Mirwin ends up dying as well. And then MKOI are like, okay, it's 3 versus 5. So now we're going to contest without our 2 carry. It's like nobody in this team is willing to say, okay, guys, we messed up. Just reset, wait for death timers, and we can play the game again.
This moment feels so bad for Jojo Pyun, though, because I am so sure he is not trying to get in this Herald. He's right-clicking forward, and he just goes straight into the Herald that was put down to try and get him out of it. But again, as you say, like, it's the post-15-minute period for MKOI where they feel uncoordinated, they don't seem to be on the same page, and credit to Vitality. Like, they punished well. Linsys' Pantheon was good again, as it often is, right? He found good picks, but overall, neither team is really showing me that they really understand how to play a holistic game.
Yes.
I mean, Clarkson and Lucian as well.
Yes,
If we're going to give credit to Vitality, I mean,
true.
like, he was playing really aggressive, and he was just doing so, like, that was old school Lucian Nami type of calling damage, you know?
Best ADC in Europe on some days.
Okay, I wouldn't go that far. We've yet to see Kalista and Hansama play today, so we're going to have to see about that one.
Forever a Stan. On the opposite side, though, Supa and his impact on the Xayah, I feel like whenever I was watching him, he had to ult defensively, right? And obviously, the game is super hard to play. Is there really anything you could have done differently, Jack?
I mean, you're playing Xayah Rakan. It's supposed to be, like, really hard to die. You're really safe. And then he just repeatedly died and got caught. I don't know. Like, it's really hard to defend that for me.
Okay.
I mean, I agree. I also think, like, just generally, we didn't see as much impact from Alvarez Rakan as I would like to. It felt like when they were going for the engages, Elioyo found a couple of good kicks, but they weren't timed well enough. Like, the bot lane engage is a great example of it, right? Elioyo goes in, finds a kick, Alvaro's there for the follow-up, and then Mirwin is still finishing his TP, and Jojo and Super are back behind the inhibitor tower. And it's like, at some point, you just gotta talk to each other. Yeah, it feels like they're not quite talking to each other.
That's why I'm fearing for what this might do to their mental, because when you look at kind of what has been said in interviews and stuff from Elioyo about like, oh, this is really the year, like it needs to happen now. I'm not saying we know anything, but it feels like one last huzzah kind of type beat, right? I don't take this from me as gospel, but that's the aura that I'm getting from this team, and you know how hard it can be when things continuously stay disjointed.
I think you can, when you look at both teams, you can kind of tell that they're quite emotional. I feel like Vitality, when they start losing right now, they become quite lifeless. Yeah. And MKOI are the same, where it's like, if something goes wrong, there's nobody that can be like, okay guys, reset, put the game plan again, let's do it again. They just like keep going down the same spiral. And I do think maybe the pressure of the fact that this leads into Worlds, and this is MKOI's really last chance at making something happen with this roster.
Well, if we think about G2 and KC possibly going to Worlds, if they keep up the record as they are now, would you like to send Vitality or MKOI?
Hey, the way they're playing now, no.
Yeah, no.
I mean, I'm also worried about what the rest of the league looks like.
Yeah, so who else you sending?
I don't know.
We haven't seen them play. How would we say?
GX. I take GX over either of these teams.
Why?
Because like in the way they were playing at the end of
They've shown
spring
nothing which is better
than these two teams. Yes, they've shown nothing which is better than what I've seen.
Okay. I know it's an
agree with
unfair
Jack.
question. I know.
I mean,
that's why we have a summer.
Yeah, that's what we're here. We're here for the clickbait.
Yes.
Sound bites, right?
Yes. But that's why we have summer, right? And that's
True.
why we need to believe in these teams that they are evolving. And I did have a little hunch this morning. I was like, oh, we were all kind of, oh, who's going to win the series? And I was like, I think Vitality could do it because they have absolutely nothing to lose. And for me, they're going up against a team who has everything to lose, right? They're in KC's house. They have to get into playoffs for their own road trip in September. And I don't know if Vitality can build on this. I can really see it happening.
It's really interesting, though, because it's strange to say Vitality have nothing to lose when they placed first in the regular season
It's
last
true.
split.
So why did I say that?
Right, no, but it feels like
sense,
that,
right?
It's like Humanoid's gone, Fiesta's in, Fiesta solo queue Merchant, right? Is he gonna feed or is he gonna get like 10 kills, go 10-0 and carry the game? Vitality feel like they've now just said, we'll chuck some pasta at the wall and hope it sticks. And MKOI have had this like long development plan, and as you say, it kind of feels like they're topping out on the ceiling of what these 5 players can do together. But it's really weird to have that expectation when Vitality were the really exciting team in spring,
The
and
fall
now
from
it's
grace was just
such a massive fall.
Phenomenal, and also, right, the expectations with a new mid laner. So what is your gut telling you,
I still think
Jack
MKOI is
Spectre?
going to win.
Yeah.
I still think they're going to win. The thing is, though, if they were to lose, I think it would be like this, where they get a decent early game, get maybe 3,000-4,000 gold lead, and then one player gets caught, and then Mirwin's like, okay, I guess I gotta do it. You know, like, because that's just how it feels. Like, if one player gets caught, the domino effect begins for MKOI, but I don't think they will make the same mistake again. But I think if they lose this, then MKOI might be done for the season, because this is such a bad start for them.
You heard it, MKOI. Your season is riding on this next game. Jack Spectre said as much. Can they do it? We'll be right back.
Exhaust down on the Carzzy. Good trade back on the Super. But Elioga's here, and they absolutely do not know. Kick back, but he manages to live. But Alvaro again gets the kill.
Hey, what up?
Hey, is that nice? Nice again?
Take Carol first.
Oh,
Pin it. Kill it.
No smite on me.
nice. No flash, Victor.
I can give it.
No flash.
That's chill, nice.
Feels like
Like, look my money.
Jeff Bezos, bro. Team Vitality.
Oh, I guess salary came in early.
Let's go, Kingers.
Nice, guys. Really good comeback, okay? Head high, boys.
Welcome to the European League of Legends Championship Series.
What an incredible play there from...
Oh, that was incredible. You love to see it.
Right, yeah, let's really
What
get into...
a move. He's just so good. I mean, the persistence, the patience to find the angle. You just don't see that from rookies. He's got it all. He's got the command.
Have a break. Have a Kit Kat.
Ooh, that looks good. Do you want to maybe share a little bit? Yeah.
What a move.
Red Bull gives you wings.
When I was a player, if I was to like make a misplay, maybe it's my mouse, maybe it's my armrest, something feels wrong. If you were at home, you wouldn't do that.
The Infinite Precision Armrest is part of the larger Secret on Stage standard initiative, aimed to bring your home or training room settings to the tournament stage.
이제 저뿐만 아니라 다른 선수들도 세팅을 더 원활하게 할 것 같고
가장 편안할 때 더 강력한 플레이가 자연스럽게 나옵니다.
Your alarm rings. No class today. You could sleep in, but then you wouldn't be able to play as much League of Legends with your friends. Your PC is getting so hot you could probably cook an egg on it. But it hasn't failed you yet. You've got pretty stable ping. Okay, there might be some spikes. But it's playable. You bought some rune pages with your allowance and spent all your IP on crit runes. Solid investment. You don't know what the meta is, but it does seem to involve buying a lot of black cleavers. You could probably do that. Skype group chat is arguing about who's the best EU mid.
He's just sitting on mid lane wave clearing.
Why not?
You saw the back door?
Surely we know I'm way better. Did you seriously not see my wall?
That's a perfect wall, by the way. Oh, he pressed on one button. Wow.
Today, you will steal a Baron, escape with a sliver of HP, and scream,
Nice! Not even close, baby.
you'll win some, you'll lose some, and you'll love every single game where you don't play against Darius.
Ja, Rocket Belt Nerf war groß.
CS is about to start. It's El Clasico.
Vor allem durch den Build-Path Change. Außerdem das Essen. Da hat wer von euch richtig geraten. Es gibt 400 Gramm Hähnchen mit Gurken, Paprika und Tomaten. Und 500 Gramm Skyr. What the fuck? Crazy work. Just like that. Was eine Überraschung. Die kulinarische Vielfalt in Question. Eigentlich langsam genug gefahren, ich kann das jeden Tag essen. Ich kann es jeden Tag essen und es ist effizient. Und es ist sehr effizient. Und Effizienz ist key, friends. Wo ist der OP-Tisch? Korrosionslösung. Ja, Platz hier irgendwo durchzuziehen. Weiß ich nicht. Bis ich umkippe. Also, weiß nicht. Noch geht's von der Anstellung her geht's gerade noch. Also rein vom Defizit, ich weiß nicht. 1-2 Monate noch. Keine Ahnung. Mal sehen. Also ich weiß wirklich nicht. Schwer einzuschätzen. Erst nicht durch. Ja, ich habe auch mies Hunger. To be honest, ich habe sehr oft richtig Hunger, aber nee, das wurde das. Rocket Belt ist, nein, also don't get me wrong, Rocket Belt ist jetzt nicht auf einmal das schlechteste Item im Game, aber es ist ein guter Nerf. Wie ernährst du dich jetzt? Ich esse 1600 Kalorien 1567 Kalorien am Tag. Ich esse morgens 2 Packungen Porridge, ist quasi abzunehmen. Das ist quasi abzunehmen. Ich esse morgens 2 Packungen Porridge mit einem Scoop Skyr. Und dann abends entweder 400 Gramm Hähnchen oder 400 Gramm Leithack mit Gurken, Paprika und Tomate und 500 Gramm Skyr. Frederik, Dankeschön für den Raid. Grüße, ich hoffe, du hast einen tollen Solo-Queue-Tag. Wir schauen Solo-Queue. Wir schauen LEC, lol.
Game 3 of Vitality versus MKOI. We weren't
Grüß Gott.
necessarily expecting a game 3, certainly not after game 1, certainly not after the first 5 minutes of game 2.
Barely after the first 10 minutes of game 2.
Barely after the first 10 minutes, and we were skeptical even as we got into the final minutes, but my God, did Vitality get it across the line. A lot of credit needs to go to 3 people. Linsis, Carzzy, Fleshy. Fiesta and Knock-Knocko started
Das mache ich noch meine Pause hier kurz fertig.
really feel like they took the game by the horn, the bull by the horns, as they say, and
Let's go, danke für den Prime.
to bring it home for Vitality. Now, can they convert it into a first full win for the team? Taking down MKOI would be big, and it would give MKOI the wooden spoon, the honor of being 0-3 at the end of this incredible
So, gehen wir in den Draft rein.
Paris, which, if you haven't noticed, is not an honor. Being 0-3 would be a roughie, but now we're into picks and bans.
Light.
The Poppy, the
freak.
Jace, the Nocturne. What are we looking out for, Finn?
Yeah, I mean, I'm still eyeing the Shen a little bit. I think it's a super strong support pick, and I wouldn't be surprised if we saw.
Ja, Camille ist raus. Shen, wie sie angesprochen haben, ist noch available. Kann man mal noch.
Engage Rel is a little bit better than a Shen, but Shen just is super strong in lane, a lot of base damages, and has that global shield that is just so useful. I think that the Skarner ban is a little bit suspicious. I'm trying to think where they are taking this draft to feel like they need to ban Skarner. Is this a Skarner support ban?
Skarner bedeutet AD... Kiana? Kiana für Linkas eventuell?
Drop the rock on the skull. There's a lot of damage.
Oder?
Maybe to play Ash Seraphine, is that one?
I think that's a tough matchup. I think maybe they're just trying to pick up an early engage support and don't want to Skarner to deny it. I have no idea, but it's going to be a Fury first pick for Vitality. The champion that's been up and down this weekend. A few good performances here and there, but notably the MKOI 0cc challenge comp with Nafiri. Left a bit of a bad taste in my mouth at least, but let's see what Linces can do with it. Because yes, last game I really liked how Vitality drafted. They drafted strong lanes and Linces was able to support.
Nafiri, okay. Ja. Und dann picken wir Java into Nafiri, das hasse ich schon. Persönlich, das kann ich gar nicht brauchen.
It's a very different play style. If they can do with a back-to-back victory, I think it would be a great showing for Vitality.
And this is what I'm skeptical of. I really like when you have ease of execution in the jungle. You have simple, strong ganking options, right? The Nafiri needs setup from the lanes as you highlighted, and that's often tricky to get the same amount of reliable CC that you get from Pantheon, who literally can just point and click his way into a lane matchup. Now, however, we have the J4 alongside the Anivia, so a lot of good team fighting power. AoE Ultimates, Vitality.
Mit der Java 4 Nafiri Ulti kann mit der J4 Nafiri Ulti blocken. Du meinst mit der Java 4 Ulti Nafiri blocken? Nein. Also, dann müsste das müsste wahrscheinlich das perfekteste Timing of all time sein. Ich kann es mir kaum vorstellen. Ohne es jetzt 100% sagen zu können, aber ich kann es mir kaum vorstellen.
It's not frozen. Yeah, what are we calling it? It's like the slushy.
Yeah, the slushy.
We got the slushy versus well, all the names I have for this combo are inappropriate. So, we have the Ziggs comboing with the TF, some semi-global. This is a lot of very squishy champions, but one thing we can say most certainly about TF, if it is locked in, is it has setup CC for the Nafiri.
Absolutely, and that's what we want. We liked the Pantheon last game because it has this global. It can roam around the map to whoever is fighting. But they're gonna move away from TF, not quite yet, they say, and they lock in the Rel, which we talked about is that strong engage support when it comes to team fight. Not necessarily the strongest laner, but when you have Ziggs, you don't really need to be a strong laner. You can just leave him be and walk around the map and try to, you know, find some inters.
Yeah, I mean, very true. Now, the bait, the hovers. Oh, and the lock-in.
Kai'Sa for Xupa.
Ich mag Kai'Sa, ja. Kai'Sa generell gegen diese Control-Mage-Meta. Oder, Entschuldigung, Mage-Botlane-Meta, sagen wir einfach mal. Bin ich ein großer Freund von.
It's only in this series that Supa has had the option to play this Kai'Sa. No one else has been banning Kai'Sa against anyone else. It really just has been
Bin ich ein sehr großer Freund von.
Specific focused ban.
It's pure comfort for Supa. I think he loves it, especially in a team like MKOI that always tries to find fights.
Aber eine AP Kai'Sa, ja, das ist im Normalfall AP Kai'Sa. Weil du eben trotzdem das Problem hast, dass du nicht wirklich die größte Uptime hast. Also autotechnisch kannst du nicht so viel picken. Was gibt es dazu? Nautilus? Nautilus wird gebannt werden. Braum? Nein. Die sollten Nautilus bannen. Die sollten hier auf jeden Fall Nautilus bannen auf 5. Definitiv Nautilus bannen. Alistar, ja. Alistar, Nautilus. Nautilus sollte gebannt werden und dann Alistar.
The Gnar has been vain to follow, so a lot of these topside blind picks being whittled away. I like the call out, Finn. I'm skeptical. If you look at the nameplates, I love the Kai'Sa. If you look at the composition, yes, Kai'Sa can follow the J4 dives pretty easily, but the lane phase against Ziggs seems pretty miserable.
Yeah, especially when you're stuck there 1v1 against the Ziggs. Like, say your supporter just leaves you and tries to gank mid or whatever. You're now standing there looking at the Ziggs just throwing bombs at your face every single wave. So, definitely more of a scrappy.
Jetzt Call verloren. Ich meine, der Draft war sehr schwer. Auch wenn sie, also, die waren super Head, ja. Die waren nicht mal Nautilus, interessant.
Okay, so this is kind of full.
Alles ist gut.
Not for the lane.
No, not at all.
The lane is whatever picking for lane is.
Aber MKOI Draft ist gut bisher. Sehr gut bisher sogar.
This 2v2 is awful.
I mean, it's the classic 2v2. It has been fine into these common bot laners, but yeah, as you say, there's a 6 in enemy team. We're not going to try to dive the 6. That's going to end up really.
Nautilus bad naturell wirklich. Ja. Also alles, was gut ist, weiß ich, aber warum ist Nautilus bad?
Try to go to mid, maybe go to top. We're going to see what Riven is going to pick because Well, the way is locked in for Fiesta. We do not know yet what NaKnaCo is gonna blind. Dinar is banned. K'Sante has been his champion of choice in these scenarios and is once again locked in for NaKnaCo. So Mirwin,
Kannst du jeden Trade das Shield breaken?
once
Okay.
again, we know you like your funny picks. There's a K'Sante in enemy team. I'm thinking Gwen. Maybe a little bit too much AP in the team. What else can I pick? GP I like, but that's not gonna.
Nein, er wird nicht GP spielen.
Shivan
Er wird irgendeinen AD-Jungler, irgendeinen AD-Toplaner spielen.
hasn't shown up just yet.
Oder Mordekaiser.
Or we
Shen.
go for the Shen. Top.
Ja, ich mag den MKOI Draft sehr. Ich glaube, die gewinnen das Game.
We're not playing Classic. We're not playing Classic. It's going to be the Shen top into the K'Sante, so...
Also ich mag den MKOI Draft.
You're going to be able to jump into that backline with a Shen strapped to your back. You can see the dream.
Die haben auch Möglichkeiten, um mit dem Huey zurechtzukommen, right? Durch den Engage hier plus Backline Access.
My issue with this MKOI comp is where do we play? Like bot lane is kind of a no-go. Top lane is a
Du spielst...
matchup you don't really want to over.
Ich glaube, du spielst Jungle Support, V2 ist gut.
Mid lane, it's gonna be a lot of pushing back and forth. There's two control mages. I'm looking at Elyoya versus Lunsas. This jungle matchup is gonna be very important to set the pace of the game. Elyoya really wants to find Lunsas and use his teammates to kind of back him up, but most likely it's gonna be Lunsas on the engage, on the aggression, with Fleshy behind him and all these really self-sufficient laners.
You want a friendly wager?
Yes.
All right. Elyoya is going to cheese gank bot to bail them out of this diabolical...
Ja, das ist ein guter Call. Level 3 Bot Gank. Das ist ein guter Call.
If it's true, you're wearing the hot dog costume when it comes back to us. Or the duck, whatever's easier to get on.
Rinky, danke für den 6.
We're going to have. If not, I'll wear it.
Okay,
Deal?
absolutely.
Shake,
Yeah, shake. I don't
Production,
think...
have someone bring us the duck and or hot dog costume.
Bring in the duck.
We'll see if it happens.
Yeah, I think it's difficult. Because sure, you can level 2 gank with the Jarvan.
Kaiser muss sehr viel ackern, was Damage angeht. Ja, das stimmt.
Mal
Mal sehen. Also Huey sehe ich als problematischen Champion für MKOI. Aber die müssten irgendwie damit zurecht... Also es müsste möglich sein.
Look, I'm willing to be wrong, but I feel like if there's any way to salvage an early difficult lane, it's just cheese them.
Yeah.
Level 3 gegen Botlane ist ein guter Call, ja.
Tried and true. Super is cheesing Carsey right now. This is quite clever, because while Carsey is good at poking...
Das ist super. Ja, sehr gut gemacht. Was? Warum flashst du? Hä? Warum flasht er? Das ist Quatsch.
And he does have TP. Really, really good trade for MKOI.
Ohne Flash war es sehr, sehr gut gewesen.
I think this actually means that MKOI might
So ist es gut.
push in this lane. Carsey obviously chugging down those 2 potions. He's gonna try to balance the HP a little bit in this lane. Super.
Hex-Flash, ja, aber nein.
Yeah, it's going to be very, very quiet early game. And my
Hätte er drauf healen können, der Movespeed.
duck and or hot dog costume is increasing rapidly.
Which one would you rather wear?
For me, it's purely... Oh, I wore the duck yesterday, so probably the hot dog, because the hot dog has an open
Just
back.
to like see what's on the other side, you know?
Yeah. Just I gotta get the full experience. That's life. Good level 1 for MKOI really does just allow them to fight for that level 2.
I think it's really creative. Putting Super behind.
Ich glaube, MKOI sollte Botside Terror machen. Im Gegner Botside Jungle.
Very clever adaptation.
We wanted a magic trick from, you know.
Ich bin mir sogar sehr sicher, dass sie Terror machen sollten.
We got some of it early. It fell apart.
Problem ist nur, Elyoya ist nicht gebased nach 3 Camps, geht nach Based.
But this time around, it's Super and Alvaro making the magic trick happen.
Ticking for you, Daniel. As Elyoya looks like he's gonna full clear towards bots.
Yeah, I think I've lost.
I'll remind you.
If he doesn't go Krugs, we'll ask the producers and they can pick a side.
Yeah.
If he does go Krugs, I've 100% lost. Fiesta.
Fighting. Jojo has
Good
the
play.
egg. Fiesta does not
have an egg.
Yeah.
Wow.
Jojo Pune does not have the chill marks in Fiesta, so the flash won't
Für Egg Traden ist natürlich super worth it. Nein, ist komplett fein.
Fiesta getting the egg.
I think
Flash's trade. Combo here in bottom lane.
Big trade there by Alvaro. I think you're quite happy as Georgipion, because now Fiesta has to play.
Wave Crash into Base für Kall? Für Super oder was?
Now that is a bit
Oder One Stain.
and when Jarvan hits
Problem ist nur, Kasi wird jetzt basen. Das heißt, du musst die nächste Wave hard pushen und danach basen.
before Elyoya.
Warte, warum ist Lynkas so Also, Lynkas war sehr langsam. So 4 Sekunden hinterm optimalen Clear Speed. Oder hinterm Clear Speed, wo er acceptable ist. Beide ohne Jungler. Kasi aus Base hat 20 AP mehr. Alvaro ist tot, oder? Kann die bitte die Doggos hitten? Oh, Flash von Fiesta ist nicht da, aber reicht. Aha.
And look, Linces now, he's not going to take the bot grab, he's going to chase Elyoya into top set. No flash on Jojo here. Fletch is here as well.
Also wir müssen hier Meter machen.
Uses the wall to get Fleshy out of the picture, but now he's just going to fall. He's got no egg! He's got no flash! And it's not the Jarvan he needed to worry about, Finn!
Das war für mich der most obvious Kaiser Base nach dieser Botlane Wave und du gehst Top Crap of all time. Gar kein Freund davon, was sie da gemacht haben. Überhaupt kein Freund davon.
I mean, on the Neferi and the Rel, they are finding every single early opportunity that they need.
A fantastic start for Vitality. You saw the smiles on the stage coming out of game 2. It looked good. The team atmosphere looked good, and you can see MKOI.
Hier, das ist doch scheiße für Super. Das ist doch komplett scheiße für Super, also ich verstehe es nicht. Einfach die Kaiser basen lassen und du gehst Top Crap. Das war richtig, richtig dumm.
Alvaro gets chunked, and sure, Elyoya really wants to fight this, but look at his laners. Fiesta is even first from mid. And a nice combo from him tries to save Alvaro, but Alvaro knows that there's no way to walk out of this. And this TP by Jojo, some would call it a Shinshin TP back in the day. It's a questionable choice, especially without the egg. Fleshy with the flash shattering strike, locks him down. And it's a good look for Vitality after what feels like a bad dream these last few days.
Kobe would have said that TP sucked, which I think would be apt. I think a bit over-eager from Jojo Pune to return to the lane. And a reminder that Carzzy, while he'll be a bit quieter on the Ziggs, did put up the second highest damage per minute in LEC ever in our previous game on that Lucian. So if you want to look for a
wow.
It's that Yordle wearing the swim trunks.
Das ist absurd, absurd viel. Dürftest du auch tolle Casts schauen? Das weiß ich nicht. Ich glaube schon, ja.
Mirwan just gives him the angle, but the initial Q dodge, the Tofu strike's not catching. Pathmaker catching as well. Knock-Knocko getting a lot less out of his out than he would have liked. Really good. That one isn't going to be dodged. If he dodges the Q3, he might have a chance. Pullback is good for Mirwan.
Du verlierst. Ja, aber das ist halt unnötig. Wie es Fiesta bisher upgraden? Nein, bisher nicht so gut.
As someone who's never played this matchup in their life, Finn, I didn't know that. It really did look like Mirwan had to dance around everything.
It looked sick.
Probably had enough HP to just eat one Q and leave. Maybe you're right, but instead, he went for a totally unnecessary route of play where he had to dodge stuff.
I love that.
I love it too. If he had died, though, it would have been very, very bad. And speaking of...
What is that solo kill?
Nee, Mann. Also, nee, Mann. Nur Liebe. Sollte man sich Line vs. Flycross anschauen? Ja, es war sehr lustig. Nur Liebe.
To MKOI, the consistency in lane. We just talked so much about Jojo, how dominant he is. The most dominant individual player.
He's getting style on my Fiesta this game. Fiesta moving first for that bot skirmish, getting that lead, and now with a solo kill on Jojo. And the Nivea that he picked, and I love that we're seeing this way answering to the Nivea, because Nivea is blinded so frequently, but she is still quite low range. She is countered by these really long range artillery mages, and like the way, like the Seraph, that I think people are a little bit shy to bring out.
And I gotta say, when we look back at this game, we're gonna throw some shade at the draft. Because you picked the Anivia early, you got counter-picked. You could have just picked the Kai'Sa early. We waited to go so far into the draft just to pick a losing bot lane. So I'm left a little bit scratching my head, and unfortunately for MKOI, we've praised them so consistently. There is a chunk of time, almost always the early game, where it feels like they are an incredible team. The execution is there. But this game, even the early game, is falling apart. Stun on the Fleshy is good.
The damage von Hui, wow, 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 wow.
But Fiesta getting stronger. Starting to run in. Linces ready to go with the ulti. Pull back onto Jojo is good. Flash away from the spiraling despair means Jojo will be able to walk away with his life.
Yeah, and then look at his MKOI comp, and I feel like who is really going first? Sure, I mean, Jarvan and Alistar has engaged. But when I look at Shen, when I look at Kai'Sa, they really want some Bruiser to go in first so they can follow up on the damage that they bring. But there's a lot of follow-up and there's a lot of engage, but there's not that much concentrated damage on the MKOI comp.
And there could be a bit more, but Jojo has fallen pretty rapidly behind. This isn't like Game 2 on the Victor where he got that early catalyst, those early Merc treads, and was just unkillable up in the face of Fiesta. He's the one on the back foot. He has less damage, less survivability. Waiting on the egg should be available soonish if it's not available now. Is Elyoya gonna kick things up? Good
Backline Access ist super. Kill an Kasi. Ja, super. Stark. Wir sind auch noch Roadshow, deswegen. Roadshow, da spielen halt nur 4 Teams sind eingeladen zu Roadshow Red, deswegen.
You knew Elyoya was in that banana bush. You knew he was standing there looking to engage on you. And you still walked up. You chose this fight. Now Linces.
Super dash back. Q flash going forward from Knock. W flash. Or W not going to connect.
Malignant Second bin ich ein größerer Freund von bei Anivia. Aber Jojo generell mag diese Super, also auch letztes Game auf Victor, ne? Super Scaling. Sehr langsam Item wird gekauft. Vielleicht Personal Preference einfach, aber ich bin kein großer Freund davon. Ist trotzdem ein bescheuertes System, ich meine. Roaches sind cool. Na, du kannst nicht beides haben. Can't have both.
And Mirman flies in there, misses the taunt, but does not matter. His Supa is now completely unleashed in the backline. You see how split Vitality is. K'Sante is in the top lane. Nafiri is hitting the grubs. What choice are Vitality making? They are making 3 at the same time and no one is on the same page.
Yeah. And now super happy to have that additional money. Still working towards that first item path. Maker from Knocko means that headbutt pulverize combo, not going to do a lot, but
ja, Okan geht's gut da oben mit 30 Assists. Bin gespannt, ob G2 gegen Casey High Quality wird. Bin sehr gespannt.
Him picking up these kills, him having these angles to fight when Vitality had such a strong position is a bit of a nightmare now for them.
Yeah, but I think this is a pretty weird swap from MKOI. They are swapping the Kai'Sa into the K'Sante, which they can't really dive. Meanwhile, they're leaving.
Das war ein geiler Map-Move von Vitality. Geil.
They're just leaving Mirman down here solo.
Wie stellt sich Fiesta so an? Nicht sehr überzeugend.
Ziggs really wants to be alone there hitting your tower. Let's see if MKOI can dive this K'Sante, but still, he's very tanky.
Knocko has the power to go all out. They're going to need to stagger their CC to make sure they don't throw it.
Aus der E-Sport gibt's ja, ich werde morgen früh eine aufnehmen. Die werden uncut hochgeladen. Weil jetzt einfach rein geldtechnisch ist es einfach zu fetter Money Sink. So, das, wenn wir ehrlich sind, also wenn ich ehrlich sein soll. Ist er ist tot, ne? Oh mein Gott. Oh. Pano, danke für den 16. Aber sie kommen. Ich werde sie aufnehmen. Nur uncut halt.
This is still good for them. That is the power of the Ziggs and the Satchel charge. But at least they got Knocko, and at least Jojopyun lives.
Oh, and death taxes. AD carries down on mid wave, and top laner is dying on a weak side. After Mirman dies.
Das Game ist auf jeden Fall fein von Fiesta, ja. Auch letztes Game war okay nach dem Early Game. Das Early Game war horrible, danach okay.
He almost had it, but look at Super holding his plasma out attack right
Für das Korean Team dürfen die nicht gehen, nein. Import Restrictions.
This Kai'Sa is brewing up a storm now, 2-0-1 with a 300 goal lead. This is the man to watch in every single fight that MKOI will take.
100% true. Kraken Slayer completed. Cole on the way, just 9 stacks off. Now you've got double Balefire, Torch for Vitality. Their AP carries are strong. Cyclo Sword as well. A lot of burst damage available for Vitality if they can find it on the right target. But Supa can take his time. He can ease into the fight, wait for that ulti to bring him in. Still waiting on that Killer Instinct cooldown for now, but that's the second Drake for Vitality. And with all the range they have, I mean, MKOI, really good team fighting tools, but still have to be careful not to give Vitality that third critical Drake.
I mean, we gotta get it back a little bit to the draft phase. We know they blind picked Anivia together with a Jarvan, because the counters to Anivia, these long range mages, they get countered by a Jarvan. So this Jarvan was kind of picked as a blanket for this Anivia to succeed. Now it got kind of caught by this wave pick, struggled now in lane, but we're gonna have to track in the team fight. If this Jarvan can lock down the way, he would really...
Nein, das ist halt so viel angenehmer für MKOI. I guess. Also für Mervin ist es natürlich super Terror. Aber der wird auch von Knocko weggebullied. Also angenehmer für Jojopyun, dementsprechend besser für die.
Information is available and they wanted to take the gamble on Vitality. So far it has paid off. 1.1k gold lead for Fiesta.
He's gonna eat the fruits. Knocko doesn't have a lot of MR, so he's not loving this lane assignment. Into Neve, but you see Fiesta opening up behind there. Vitality is committing to play top side, but their jungler is bot side. It's a little bit desynced. I don't think they can do anything here, so most likely Naknako
Dieses Game Fiesta ist sehr solid, ja klar. Natürlich. Ich glaube, den Kill auf Vanivia gerade hätte haben müssen, wahrscheinlich, aber ansonsten ist der fein.
With the Cathy and Rand can clear these minions pretty quickly, but it does mean that Vitality are very likely, as long as both, you know, ADs or bot laners are assigned against each other, are always going to get...
Wann zur Hölle hat Jojo sein Rod of Ages fertig? Das muss doch bald sein, oder? 14 Minuten, normalerweise hat man es dann. Aber er hat da ist 100 Creeps auch nur. Oh, weia, ey. Schwierig.
Now, Elyoya and Alvaro opening up together from base.
Also anscheinend soll es da intern richtig gekracht haben. Bei Vitality. Zumindest liest sich jedes Statement von denen so, ja.
Spawning in 50 seconds, so securing Jojo that top lane push will make it a lot easier to contest that objective. Because in the 1v1 he is struggling still against this wave.
Are they supposed to be careful? Ouch. Never mind, he doesn't have to be careful. My god.
That's so much damage.
That was that one of the minefield bombs and a Q.
And then a W in the end. It's half HP of Super.
And the wave is deleted. Yeah. Well, there's a reason we see mages bot lane, folks, and there's a reason that we don't often see Kai'Sa into them. That range discrepancy is big.
Hab gehört, Mark Bossa ist gigareich natürlich. Der hat, also Tschechien, das kommt nochmal dazu und der hat, also Multimillionär wahrscheinlich, ja. Also er kann machen, was er will.
Just trading spells with Alvaro. A bit of BM.
I love to track this whenever I see Alistar into Neferi. Because it's a constant mind game. Is the Alistar gonna WQ? Or is it just gonna W before Neferi W's to block it out? Because I've seen players lay traps throughout entire games where you W every single time.
Warum geht Kai'Sa nicht? Poke, Full AP, Poke Kai'Sa, das machst du nicht. Haben sie keinen DPS für den Cassante. Der wird wahrscheinlich AP, ich gehe sehr stark davon aus, dass er AP geht, also halt Nash als drittes, aber er braucht DPS. Hat er 800k, ich glaube, der hat Minu bekommen, glaube ich. Kriegzeiten.
That is some advanced League of Legends tactics. The Blitzcrank players out there, I'm sure, know about it. You know, seeing which way people dodge, conditioning, always throwing it to the left or right. So, love to see it. Keep an eye on it for Alvaro and Linsis. Who gets the mental edge here? His fear lands onto Alvaro.
Jesus. Hast halt ganze Combo raus von Fiesta, das ist ein Problem. Kasi flasht. Kriegt ein Access mit Chen, ja. Das ist ein toter Siggi. Was macht das denn? Flashy, bitte. Flashy, bitte. Oh, super. Kommt raus, wow. Linkas Ulti kommt drauf auf Super. Oh mein Gott, dass er da noch den Ulti-Proc findet. Oh, Linkas war auch nicht gut, das war nicht gut. Oh, Vitality spielt Fights wirklich wie mein linker C gerade. Horrible Teamfighting von Vitality.
Super bad for Vitality. Instantly, Karsa gets caught out, flashes before the Cataclysm even goes out. We're gonna get a replay on that, and we're gonna talk about it, because look at this. Starts with Alvaro, walking up, kind of checking the waters, and has to burn his ultimate before anything happens. But Elyoya finds the combo on Karsa, and he flashes before the Cataclysm. And now, despite him finding a massive ult of the 3 people, he ends up going down, and Fleshy is left to fend for his own. And here is where you really thought that it was a good fight for MKOI, but Naknako decides...
Sagt Huma und Kasi was so eine Bromance? Ja, aber es würde ja trotzdem nichts. Wenn es intern kracht, weißt du, also muss ja nicht zwischen den beiden gekracht haben.
Goes all out, doesn't get his W off right before the damage comes.
We're not done. The fight is going. Alvaro going for the knockup. Lince is going to pull back. Big damage though coming out from Lince.
Junge, Fiesta macht so einen Damage.
His ulti not quite ready to go, but he's still on the hunt for Elyoya.
Dieses Teamfighting von denen ist also so komisch.
Rushing forward as MKOI start to fall apart.
Hä?
Clearing out the wave, the Chemtech Drake in the sights of Vitality. Fiesta doesn't even need to be here. He's already TPing up top lane just to make sure that they can push for as much as humanly possible.
And we didn't see how that fight started, but it's Elyoya.
Boah, 0-3 für MKOI gehen an diesem Wochenende ist hart. Wirklich hart.
When you're engaged, dice and engaged during the fight, something went really, really wrong. Maybe Super didn't have that ult to follow up. Maybe they got caught out by Fleshy. But it's once again in the mid game where MKOI gets
Wir werden auch noch tot. Oder was?
They aren't taking the correct steps. They aren't choosing the correct fights, and Mirrorwind
going all out now for Naknako. Alvaro there, but it's too late. Pathmaker, Naknako should have enough.
Super hat Ulti ab. Oh. Nee, kann er nicht. Das ist halt so ein... Das sind halt 700 wichtige Goldcoins, Mann. Diese Kaiser kann 100% carryen.
And these are two scrappy teams, you see it. They're constantly fighting, even though it's not the correct decision. Vitality ends up going 0 for 2 there, but Linces wants to get a trade kill. Has to back down. The Dragon spawning in 4 minutes. That's gonna be the fighting point that's gonna decide the entire game.
Linkas sollte hier drittes Item nicht Death Sense, sondern Service hängen, glaube ich.
We take a look back at this play, the previous one, we were wondering how it started. With this engage.
I mean, there's just no damage follow-up. Alvaro goes in super deep, and the wave flashes out, but Elioya is adamant about following the engage, but Super doesn't have the ult. They don't have the Stand United to go in there.
Ja, er geht den Nashers Bild, ja. Nashers Deathcap, oder Nashers Sonja Deathcap. Und drückt Bomben. Holy fuck, der Shen hat 100... Was ist mit den CS-Zahlen los, by the way? 130 CS auf Shen, 150 auf beiden Midliner. Was passiert hier? 150 auf Nagnako. Fatal, ey.
So hard for MKOI to walk up right now, and you've got Fiesta. That's with one mage. Fiesta's on a sideline. They have two. And you could say for Mirwin, like, look, you just build MR and you're fine, but Linces is turbo-fed.
Yeah, I mean, sure, Super is super head over Karsi, but Karsi is not weak by any degree. He is super strong with a double burn item. These bombs are landing for so much damage, really making it awkward for MKOI to walk into the contested zones that Vitality control.
Definitely difficult. Again, all eyes on Super, on the side of MKOI to carry. The only reason the gold is close is because he is 2,000 ahead of his counterpart. But that said, he has to find the perfect angle and play the fight cleanly, which again, against this amount of AoE magic damage, feels like it's nearly impossible. But maybe if Alvaro and Elioya can find the perfect angle to start a fight, he can make it happen.
It's really on Alvaro and Elioya to find a good fight.
Der Intended Fury mal wieder hier, ja. Hasse ich diesen Engage von Elioya. Hasse ich so sehr. Wow, und er kommt nicht damit davon, ja. Gott sei Dank. Ich finde, Elioya spielt nicht gut hier. Elioya spielt überhaupt nicht gut hier gerade.
That turns the fight for MKOI, and they're gonna turn to Baron.
He absolutely does, Finn. Incredibly dominant fight. It just seems like everything is falling apart for MKOI. Game 1 looked like a top-tier team versus a bottom-tier team, but Vitality crawled their way back in Game 2 and are fist-fighting MKOI in Game 3. What a turnaround.
Was macht er?
I don't know what he's doing. He's dying.
Was macht er? Wow, er stoppt den Nash? Was? Wait, Takeover, oder? Sie müssen nicht starten, glaube ich. 1 Minute auf Drake. Oh mein Gott, sie starten ihn nicht, okay.
MKOI can kill Baron quick. They have a Kai'Sa with 3 items. Vitality's Baron is incredibly slow.
Yeah, so it's Flash's ward that spots out Elioya here, so they actually know he's coming from this flank, which gives Karsi the time.
Finde ich überhaupt, ich finde den Engage so Quatsch, oder nicht? Auch mit dem Hintergedanken, dass da eben ja, weiß ich nicht, finde ich nicht gut.
Oh, lock up there. Alvaro going over the wall. Linces forced to use the throw of the pack a little bit early. Fleshy now following up the shattering strike. It's Nagnako on the front lines, and Alvaro first to fall as MKOI retreat back.
Ja, ich sag's, Alvaro spawnt immer noch. Der hat schon wieder einen Tod mit. Oh, Entschuldigung, das Tod war ein Flash so. Hä? Oh wow, er kriegt ihn. 30 Sekunden noch. Super kann noch basen, ne? Was macht er? Ey, die spielen so komisch, oder nicht? Was machen die? Hä? Was machen die? Hä? Sind die dumm? Warum ultet der nicht? Hä? Ey, die sind so schlecht.
Vitality are having their cake. They're eating all of the cake at the same time.
Delicious. It's a delicious cake, Dracos, because MKOI are crumbling to the pressure right now. They cannot execute a single good play anymore. Everything falls apart.
Großer Gott.
Engage doesn't land, and it's Vitality who kites back calmly every single time they try to find a fight.
And this play starts off, you get a little bit of damage onto Lensis, but what we've seen this entire game is now that Vitality have advantage with these double mages, Alvaro can't go out once he goes in. Even with an ulti, it's just not enough to survive, and Vitality are so lethal on the follow-up fight.
Yeah, and it's like Naku tries to extend this play, but look at that wall from
Diese Kaiser kann carryen, aber die braucht halt Uptime.
from the left side of that play. So Super actually gets a trade kill. And here I think Mirwin saw something that didn't exist. Maybe he was fighting Ghost, maybe he wanted Super to fly in there with him, but I don't think it's possible just to assassinate the 6 there with a Shen. You're just gonna have to give that Dragon and gonna have to go for the next play on the Baron.
Okay, well, we're about to fight again, because why would we do anything else? 26 kills, 24 minutes into this game. Lensis walking way too far forward. Free damage, but that's the ulti onto Supa. He's 50% HP, and now Vitality ready to turn back, keep the fight going. Severing will connect.
Er ist tot, by the way. Er ist tot, oder nicht?
Does he have Deathfire touch as well? Supa might still follow to this.
Nee.
Taking health bar, Alvaro getting zoned back. Supa does manage to survive, but his support will not. Recall still coming in for Supa. Operating close to that tower, but not too concerned. Spiraling Despair onto Elyoya as Vitality force MKOI back. Now, setting their sights on the Baron. Again, a very, very slow Baron.
Hartes Ding, ey. Also wirklich hard to watch hier.
They should be able to take it.
I mean, it's a slow Baron, but
hard to watch.
has it Neferi, who does so much damage to Baron, has all those darkened daggers just piercing the heart of the purple monster. Let's see if MKOI can actually try to contest this, because Elyoya is sprinting for his life. He's
Super, kein Flash, er holt hier ab.
7k, 6k, getting lower.
Schau auf Fiesta, was warum geht er nicht auf Fiesta drauf, hä? Fiesta ist tot. Igitt. Na meint. Geile Sonja.
It's just him and Alvaro versus the world.
But Kars is down. Fiesta is kind of out of the fight. He needs to recall and TP back. It's just going to be Lunzas and Naknako, but I think they can actually get this Baron finally. And this has been the longest Baron waltz I've ever seen. Back and forth. And it feels like every single fight MKOI is losing, but for some reason Vitality took a lot of time to get his Baron, but they will be happy they finally pick it up.
That they will. 3,000 gold lead for Lensis. 807.
Ja, hat Fiesta gut gelöst am Ende, muss man sagen.
But his laners played well in their individual matchups despite some rough starts, gave him those opportunities, and now he's taken over.
Yeah, and look at Elyoya. He tries to get onto Karsi here with the Shen, but a great satchel by Karsi brings him to safety. And Supa tries to go in, but you have assassinated the 6, but there's a 7-0 Neferi chewing on your nostrils as Fiesta is flashing out of the Baron pits.
You certainly paint a picture, Finn. I don't know, chewing on his... All right, fair enough.
I mean, he did.
He did. The dog loves chewing. The dog
can
do whatever it wants. It wants to chew on your nostrils. Very poorly behaved dog.
Yeah.
Unless you're Vitality. They're really excited about this one.
Yeah. But now Fiesta has no flash still. Has the Sonya's picked up, so should Elyoya try to dive onto him, he has that hourglass to stall for a little bit of time. Supa, he needs to make a miracle. He needs to have the perfect fight to come back into this game.
Mirwin splitting, doesn't have the Stand United, but does have access to the TP. Wall behind Fleshy, but Knock-Knocko also splitting. Crystalline Overgrowth knocked down the tower just about instantly disappearing as he ushers in that Baron-empowered minion wave.
It's just so hard to withstand the siege of a Way and a 6 with the Baron buff and 2 grubs. It's just so simple for Vitality. They just need to play on the wave and just throw their spells every single wave.
It took a lot of damage.
Some damage there, but still, with time, Vitality will start cracking these towers, and it's MKOI that...
Die können auch im Miracle Fight spielen, also super, weiterhin. Diese Kaiser ist extrem OP, aber was Vitality sehr gut macht, und also, to be fair, das macht auch... Ich finde MKOI, also kein gutes Game von der Joja auf jeden Fall. Das muss man ganz klar sagen. Und Vitality hält Position eigentlich ganz geil auch in Teamfights.
Judgment was able to just walk over and clear the wave before the next wave hit on mid, so MKOI holds on for
Das Wetter hier haben wir schöne 29 Grad, nee, 28 Grad haben wir ja noch. Und ich sehe nächste Woche Mittwoch 33, nächste Woche Donnerstag 35. Entspannte Grad, toll.
Yeah, exactly. And Vitality might
Kann nicht mehr.
have to bring this to an elder fight.
Which is a difficult spot. Again, we talk about Vitality. They've stepped up. You can see the mood in the team is good, but there's still holes in the gameplay. Not syncing your waves on Baron means you're not breaking open the base. It means you're not getting a greater advantage. It means this Red Bull Baron power play is negative rather than positive, and it means MKOI have a lot more space to play with than they
Ja,
really should at this kind of
schau mal. Elder, 30 Sekunden. Super fertige Sonja. Dieser Niva ist so useless, aber.
Look at Mirwin. His items aren't really tanky.
Fear, the spiraling despair. Fiesta tries to proto belt out, but the Cataclysm still catches him, and now MKOI have an angle to follow up. Fiesta buys an extra second with the Zonyas.
Aha, da kommt schnell in die Backline, da kommt Super auch in die Backline. Super kriegt aber keinen Engel. Ne, ist lost. Ist lost, oder?
Fiesta still face tagging through the power of the Chemtech Soul, and it's Jojo Pune losing out as Fiesta still lives.
Oh, er bekommt Fiesta, oh mein Gott.
Jojo Pune finds the shutdown. Carzy on the chase, Nako to finish it. Mirwin running, Super running.
Kein Flash bei Flashy.
Too far behind. Vitality winning out with their wallets, and an otherwise.
Was macht denn, Alter? Ey, dieser Typ, ne? Was machen die? Alter.
To give the team space thrown away as Lensis is legendary.
This game's fights are crazy, Draco.
So hard to watch.
It's a miracle that MKOI are finding some sort of fighting capabilities. This will just be the Elder Dragon for the Neferi. Like Nako's gonna push out his wave, and I think they're gonna start it together. But the fact that they found that pick onto Fiesta, and the fact that they lived for so long before going down is crazy.
And I take it back, Chemtech Soul may be good on everyone. Yeah, how did he live for so long? Nako
Monkey danke für den 6.
Again, the only goal here is to keep them away from this Elder Dragon, and it takes a lot of time for Lensis to do it.
7k, Elioy is gonna manage to end up being here.
He's gonna be here.
Ach du Scheiße.
Neferi's smite is very strong with a double Darkened Dagger.
That it is. TP now coming in. Ziggs on the way. Carzy on the way. All 5 members of Vitality in the area. Mirwin getting pulled back. They backed away from the Elder. Now MKOI need to immediately...
Nein, der Full Reset. Was machen die?
Forced to fight in the pinch. Vitality are uncertain if they want to keep going.
Was machen die?
Not the case for Lensis, who goes way too far. Forced now...
What the fuck?
Across the top. The Mega Inferno Bomb not connecting. Good pacing coming in from MKOI. Fiesta caught in the Cataclysm. The follow-up damage not quite there. Fear onto Jojo. Fleshy forced back. Elder back in the sights of Vitality.
Super, you know he wants to out-attack people, but how can he out-attack someone? Linzes goes in and gets popped by the GA, but still, Fiesta, Carzy, the range, the CC
Alter.
nullifies any attempt that Super has to carry this game.
Waiting, taking their time. They're going to execute at the last possible second to ensure they have the most possible uptime on Elder.
Yeah, Linzes is just going to stay on the map.
Ja, mindestens ergibt Sinn. Aber er soll das Lower hitten, der Idiot.
Elder is killed to make sure they have as long as time possible to make this Elder buff work, to at least break an inhib, at least an inhib.
Yeah, really taking his time. Bro,
okay.
This is rude.
Okay, just kidding.
This is like when the cat brings home the mouse or the bird and it's not really dead. They're just batting at it. I guess it's a dog instead. But there you go, that's an Elder Dragon. Reduced to that. Unfortunately.
Did you just compare Elder Dragon to dead mouse?
That's pretty what that's what it looks like, bro. He's just sitting there holding it like, okay, hit me again. Hit me again.
Let's watch this fight. Because yeah, as you say, MKOI had to pull out of this fight. And Nako goes all out on Mirwin, but he just walks out of it. And it looked a little bit sketchy here because Linzes gets caught on this side. Going on to Mirwin, gets popped in his GA. But it's so difficult for Super to hit, because who can hit? It's such a tight corridor. Sonya says the Mega Inferno Bomb, and never mind.
No, Kanzanya is that. Flashing away, he's still dead! Oh my gosh!
Hä? Hä?
80 carries, it's time for you to get on social media and complain, boys!
Hä?
The mages are here! Fire up the tweets, the mages are here!
Right now, I want to see a hate thread for 6. Oh my god, I'm pretty sure that was one Super Mega Inferno Bomb that killed Super.
Taking him down.
Was, nur die 6 Ulti?
By Elder, to be fair, but Vitality on a victory march. MKOI did a good job in the last fight, but they're simply too far behind in gold. All their previous mistakes catching up to them. Could not fight on even footing. Vitality in the victory lap.
Oh my god.
Vitality set to take down MKOI. MKOI set to go 0-3 in Paris. KC fans eating good today.
And Fiesta, what a display of confidence on this way. Solo killing Georgia Pyun. Finally bouncing back after his first 2 series, but look at the TP here. Alvaro is behind.
Alvaro.
Geil. Sehr geil gecancelt.
Georgia Pyun doesn't have the ulti in the right spot, and Alvaro's just gonna die. That's it. Flash in for Fleshy, looking for the re-engage, manages to lock up 3. The immediate follow-up coming in for the rest of VIT.
Aha, super ist wieder tot am AOE. Krank. Wow, GG. Das Geile ist, ich hasse Super. Deswegen, dass die 0-3 gehen. Ich finde das schon arschgeil. Ich finde das schon arschgeil. Krank. Jetzt G2 gegen Casey.
Was against them. They were having so many opinions about the roster changes, but finally